good and productive conversations with Iran, President Trump is extending his deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Mr. Trump says the U.S. will hold off attacking Iranian power plants for 5 days. The president says the diplomatic talks with Iran could yield a complete and total resolution of the war. However, he adds the suspension of his threat to attack energy infrastructure is subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Hundreds of immigration officers are being deployed to U.S. airports to help with security.
The expanded role for immigration officers comes as TSA screeners have worked more than a month without paychecks because of a budget impasse in Congress. In recent days, travelers have waited many hours in airport security lines. The president's decision is drawing concerns that the agent's presence may escalate tensions. Border Czar Tom Homan is leading the new airport security effort and says the plan is a work in progress. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A pilot and co-pilot are dead after a runway collision between a plane and an emergency vehicle at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
An Air Canada regional jet struck a fire truck on the runway of New York City's LaGuardia Airport late Sunday night. Authorities and photos of the wreckage revealed the impact of the collision crushed the front nose of the plane. Jazz Aviation Flight, operating on behalf of Air Canada, says the plane had 72 passengers and 4 crew members on board. The flight originated from Montreal Pierre Elliott Trudeau International Airport.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart says LaGuardia Airport is currently closed. At least 39 people injured in that crash. Watching Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell, Dow futures are up 897 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 439. More on these stories at townhall.com.
They say timing is everything in the gold and silver markets, and it's true. Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. Although you can buy at the right time, if you buy the wrong coins, you may not make a profit. When gold was $400 an ounce, many people were talked into buying high-grade old gold and silver collector's coins. Unfortunately, most of the people who bought these so-called semi-numismatic coins, like the $20 St. Gaudens and Liberty Head gold coins, have not broken even on their investment. Incredible, given that gold has risen approximately 525% since then. So while timing is everything, if you buy the wrong coins, the timing simply doesn't matter. Having a dealer who cares about positioning you in the right types of coins or bullion will mean more to your portfolio than anything else. That's why I deal with Nick Rovich and AmFed Coin and Bullion. Whether you're buying or selling, call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. Or go to AmericanFederal.com. AmericanFederal.com.
The head of the International Energy Agency says the global economy is facing a major threat because of the Iran war.
Fatih Birol has been at the center of efforts to keep supplies of oil and gas flowing around the world. About 1/5 of the world's oil and gas is transported through the Strait of Hormuz, and the Asia-Pacific region is particularly reliant on these supplies. As a sign of nervousness about the possible escalation of the war, stock markets in Asia have fallen. The Kospi in South Korea was down more than 5% in early trading. Japan's Nikkei just under 5%.
The BBC's Maura Fogarty. Italy's Conservative Premier Giorgia Meloni is facing a pivotal political test in a 2-day referendum on judicial reform. The vote began yesterday. It has transformed into a broader judgment on her leadership both at home in Italy and abroad, foreign policy. News and analysis, townhall.com. The British Prime Minister and local residents are speaking out after a Jewish charity's emergency vehicles were set on fire.
Police officers were called to Golders Green, a London neighbourhood with a large Jewish population, after receiving reports of ambulances on fire. On Monday morning, Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the incident as a deeply shocking anti-Semitic arson attack. Talking with the AP, local councillor Peter Zinkin says he's in no doubt that the attack was aimed at the area's large Jewish community.
The distress and anger of the local community, which I represent, as to what has happened. Burning ambulances in the middle of the night is a disgrace.
I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The Trump administration has launched a series of investigations looking at 13 states that require state-regulated health insurance plans to cover abortion. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to it.
Made it through the sweaty weekend.
Yeah, although today's going to be cooler.
A little bit.
It's going to be one of those weeks again. Because today we're like in the 70s.
Yep.
Then we're like 97, 98, 100. And then like Friday and the weekend, 70s, I think 60s. Let me confirm. But yeah, Friday a high of 73, Saturday a high of 66. Sunday a 20% chance of rain with a high of 79. But tomorrow 97, Wednesday 98, Thursday 110. 73 today.
It was it's quite the scorching weekend.
Yeah.
It was not a pleasant one. We tried to get everything together and get the kids to the pool, which was closed.
Yeah.
We didn't find that out until we were in the parking lot, which, of course, one out of the two of my kids took it really, really well.
Yeah, I could see that.
The other one, it took me a good solid 45 minutes to get back to semi-normal.
Yeah. Man,
I'm pretty sure Rhiannon dropped her first F-bomb yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I let it slide because of the rage, but
just don't make a habit of it. But
do
yeah,
as I say, not as I do.
We're just a little too early for the pools to be open up.
Well, the indoors, I mean,
Yeah.
they come on now.
Yeah.
There's got to be some form.
So it was closed for like cleaning or something?
I didn't even make it inside to ask. We were on our way in, and some kids were walking out, going, "Oh, by the way, the pool's closed." Hey, thanks. Thanks for letting my my daughter on the spectrum know that so bluntly.
Did baby Ruth show up?
Probably. Now they probably figured, oh, it's off season. Who's gonna need to swim? But it's all.
I know the swimmers, like the lap guys.
Yeah,
they're pretty religious about it. So.
Yes, well, they are until they're not.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we had one he's
I'm not talking about Thomas.
I'm talking about Thomas. He's relatively devout, but he goes through his periods of like a month where he's like, no, I'm not doing that right now.
But I know some of the people he also swims with, his swim associates,
yes,
if you will, are much more fervent, religious about their swimming schedule regime than when T-Beard is.
Right.
So
some people are, this is all I have.
Yeah, it's salty. So.
No, it's fresh water. It's chlorinated. I mean, it can be salty, but then you should probably clean it.
Yeah. You ever swam in a salt pool?
I floated in one.
Yeah.
It was like a tub.
I was a cruise ship.
Okay.
That's when the pools on the cruise ship are filled with salt water.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least the ocean ones are.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a bit different at first. But you know how you get someone, you're like, oh, it's salty.
This has not been desalinized.
Yeah. So, speaking of liquid, I'm officially on it.
Yeah.
I got, Sean will be in the captain's chair tomorrow. I've got a colonoscopy / endoscope manana morning.
Oh, wow.
So today, beginning at noon,
Mike's going to be wired up like a PC.
Yeah. So beginning at noon, I take my Dulcolax pills, and then I think at 2 o'clock I start the Go Lightly, which I think is everything but Go Lightly.
Go Lightly. Yeah, I bet. Go lightly to your appointment because your endocrine system has come out.
According to my instructions, I got to drink half of. I filled up this jug this morning. I think it says 4 liters. So what's that, a gallon?
I don't think it's quite a gallon.
4 quarts is a gallon.
Yeah, 4 quarts is a gallon. Actually, it's more than a gallon.
Yummy, thanks. Gallon I can wrap my head around. Yeah. More than a gallon sounds a bridge too far. But anyway, I mixed up that solution and stuck it in the fridge for today. Beginning at 2, I got to drink half of that, and then at 5 o'clock, I got to drink the other half. And,
is it like flavored, or is it a certain like texture, or?
I'm told it's lemon lime, and everyone says it's nasty.
Oh, okay.
And this is the first time I've done this. Before, I had to take some other pills, and then some other pills, and then drink a bunch of Gatorade. But I had a reaction to the pills, and so they make me take this Go Lightly now.
1.057 U.S. liquid gallons.
There you go. So just a smidge over.
Just a touch over.
Yeah.
Well, so are you completely liquid for?
The rest of the day. Today I can have. So it's pretty much any liquid that's not red or purple. I can have popsicles, Jello.
Right.
Broths of beef.
After your colonoscopy, you're going to need popsicles, but not for your mouth. You just sit on a box of popsicles.
Actually, based on my now I never had an endoscope with it. I just had a colonoscopy. But based on past experience, like you wake up from that surgery, like you had the best nap of your life.
Yeah.
Like I woke up and I'm like, now, as soon as I got off the table, I was wobbly legged.
Sure.
But, like, I felt so refreshed and so, like, just, not going to say full of energy, but just refreshed. I felt like I just had a good night's 8-hour sleep.
See, the thing, and this is how my brain works. Every time before I go into a situation where I'm going under, I'm always worried it's not going to be enough. I'm going to wake up halfway through.
Oh, it's enough. Yeah, because it's
like
literally...
My tolerance, like, I figured this out with when I was getting all my dental procedures done.
Yeah.
I think Keon figured this out too. My tolerance is pretty high, so they had to like up the dosage to get me to stay out.
Oh, they will get you. They'll get you.
Now, but what they did up the dosage, and in that up dosage, I remember after the procedure, the only thing I remember was getting dropped off at my house, falling asleep, and bleeding on my pillow. That's all I remember.
Yeah, they'll get you because it's literally like, okay, now, and you start, I think they ask you to count backwards or say something, and I literally get like 2 numbers in, and next thing you know, I'm like, we're done? Okay, all right. You just kind of wake up in a room quiet, still on your side, just like, all right, I guess we're done. It's pretty weird.
Or maybe I've seen too many apocalypse movies, but I was worried to wake up in an abandoned hospital.
Yeah, no, it's that was, no, tomorrow's actually my easy day. Tomorrow I just got to roll in and lay in bed and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Today's the day of suckdom, where I will be, let's just say I'll be spending a lot of time playing Tecmo football on my iPad.
A lot of evacuation today.
So that's my afternoon.
There you go.
So, well, let me give you my morning.
So you've got plans.
That's right. I got a date. But so let me give you my morning. I'll give you the rundown for today's show. Matter of fact, I probably need to get interviews going. We're going to replay our interview we had with Laura Salazar and Jim Ridgway. They joined us, Pastor Jim from The Gig. Laura, a reason for the season. She's, of course, this week they start their Easter drive-through event. She also has a new children's book out. Laura, she debuted it. Matter of fact, they had the book signing over the weekend that we'll have copies at the drive-thru this week. So we'll play that interview here for you in a few minutes. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay our interview we had on Thursday with Deputy DA Hunter Spindle from the 5th Judicial District Office, and I had a great conversation with him. And then Elliot Rodriguez with Loan Depot will join us in the 9 o'clock hour and give us his monthly update. Always comes in and gives advice and talks about the advantages of home ownership.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah. Plus, we have all of the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, et cetera, so forth and so on, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do anything else, though, let's get you up to date on the weather. If I can get to the button. There it is.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly comfortable on the daytime highs today. We have cool high pressure overhead, sunshine, and mid-70s. Overnight, we'll have a few clouds passing through, mid-40s, and then we get a big boost on the daytime highs on Tuesday, sunshine, and we're back in the mid-90s. Clear Tuesday night, mid to upper 90s for the afternoon high on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 46 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 54% with winds out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Today, like I said earlier, it's going to be cooler today, partly cloudy to be early, then full-on sunny later today. High of 73 with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 47 degrees and south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. We're hitting 97 tomorrow, sunny and hot, 97 for a high, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow night, overnight low of 54 degrees, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny and 98 for Wednesday, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny and a high of 100. And then Friday, another cool down, 73 and sunny on Friday. Saturday, partly cloudy and 66. Sunday, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain, mostly sunny and 79. So kind of the one hump camel here. We're in the bottom of it here. Then we'll hit the hump here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then down on the other side of the hump Friday, Saturday, Sunday there. There's your weather for the week. All right, 16 minutes after 7 o'clock, we'll have your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Quick break, and then on the other side, we'll start our interview we had with Laura and Pastor Jim on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Attention, attention. They've done it again. For 3 years in a row, Roswell Hyundai is the #1 used car supercenter in New Mexico. Whether you're in the market for a large truck, a super high-end luxury vehicle, or an affordable car for first-time buyers, the Roswell Hyundai Used Car Supercenter has one that fits your needs and your budget. So if you're looking for the best deal on your next vehicle, head for the #1 Used Car Supercenter in southeastern New Mexico 3 years straight. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd. Start the year strong with a home that's comfortable, efficient, and easy on your energy bills. The Right Fit membership program. For as little as $15 per month or $199 a year, you can rest assured knowing your unit is ready with biannual HVAC maintenance, as well as reduced dispatch fees, even in the middle of the night. Plus, a 15% discount on all services provided by Fulkerson, as well as preferred scheduling. Be ready for the seasons ahead. Become a Right Fit member with Fulkerson today. Call 575-319-9984 to find out more. Fulkerson Plumbing and Heating. Proudly serving Roswell and surrounding area.
Hey, Roswell, it's Ford Truck Month, and your friends at Roswell Ford are rolling out massive savings on all new Fords and 0, 0, 0. You heard right. During Ford Truck Month, get 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, Roswell Ford needs your trade today, so we are willing to overpay. We'll do whatever it takes to get you released from your car, truck, or SUV, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can upgrade to a new Ford for less, with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit with great rates and terms, even if it's less than perfect. Get on board at Roswell Ford. Upgrade to a new Ford today and get huge American-made savings with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days during Ford Truck Month. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com.
Interest accrues from date of sale. 0 APR is $16.67 per thousand. Financed on 2025 F-150s. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined on select vehicles.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good March run for this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, weaned with condition. We expect to sell 900 head. Breaking down like this: 50 to 75 weight cows and bulls, 50 to 75 pairs of bred cows, 700 to 750 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 10 cow-calf pairs, mostly black white face, red white face English crossbred cows of black calves. Pairs 5 to 10 years old, 22 bred cows, the WP Ranches at Cherokee, Texas. Excellent quality black white face, red white face English crossbred cows, bred to black and red Angus bulls. Cows 6 to 10 years old, 85 light yearlings, the L7 Ranch here north of Roswell. Excellent quality black and Charolais crossbred yearlings, cattle wean 120 plus days. 3 rounds of shots, thin to medium condition, right off cake and dry grass, $550, 750 pounds. 70 light yearlings, Woodburn Ranch at Pinon, New Mexico. Quality black white face, red white face. 1/4 year crossbred yearlings, cattle weigh 120 days, 2 rounds of shots, 600, 800 pounds. Also 35 light yearlings off of Woodburns. Good quality, 3/4 and straight Bramers, steers and bulls, 500, 650 pounds. 30 calves, Mr. Oscar Vasquez, Malaga, New Mexico. Reputation quality black Angus calves, cattle weigh 30 days, 1 round of shots, 500, 700 pounds. 21 calves, Mr. Randy Elkins at Artesia. Quality black white face Angus crossbred calves, shots at Brandon, 400, 550 pounds. 30 light yearlings, the Bill Woodward, Tyrone, New Mexico. Excellent quality white face yearlings, cattle weigh 90 plus days, 2 round of shots, medium condition, 600, 750 pounds. 19 calves, the Bar Guitar Ranch, Picacho, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus and Brangus cross calves, cattle weigh 90 days, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 550 pounds. 30 calves, Mr. Aaron Kidd at Carlsbad. Excellent quality, 90% black white face, Angus cross calves, 2 rounds of shots, thin to medium condition, 300, 450 pounds. Sale time this morning will be at 9 a.m. Pairs bred cows 9:30. Calves and yearlings 9:45 to 10 a.m. Very light on weight cows and bulls. Be on pairs, breds, calves and yearlings pretty quick. We expect to sell 900 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
Studio this morning from, I guess we'll call it the reason for the season. Well, we'll just to give it a title here. Laura Salazar back with us.
That is it.
And Pastor Jim Ridgway with the gig back with us as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Mike.
So good to be here.
Happy spring. I think today's officially the first day of spring,
Is
even
it
though
really?
weather-wise it could have fooled me. But it feels like the first day of summer.
Right, well,
at least
that
nobody.
is the first day of spring in New Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
And at least nobody's turned the fan on yet.
That's right. Well, today might be the day. We're hitting we're like 98 today or 96 or something. So, but you have had quite a whirlwind of last 2 months. Of course, for folks that may not be familiar, Laura and Pastor Jim here during the Christmas holiday and Easter holiday, they do the reason for the season events. During Christmas and Easter, they have their drive-through events. Christmas holiday obviously celebrates the birth of Jesus and gives the story through a series of drive-through events, and it's kind of grown over the years,
substantially,
and kind of got on steroids a little bit over the years. But and now that we are here to celebrate Easter season,
yes,
not trying to belittle Christmas. However,
yes,
we're all Christians because of Easter.
Amen.
Yes. Easter's the reason we're all Christians.
Absolutely.
This is the reason, the absolute reason.
Even the hidden Christians come out of the world.
Exactly.
They come out. Everybody.
So this is the Super Bowl for Christians. Is Easter?
And isn't it appropriate? Today is the new season.
Yes.
So it is the reason for the season.
So it is very apropos that you also have your Easter reason for the season drive-through event.
Yes.
But before we talk about that, you've kind of had a lot happen between Christmas and Easter here. Share the news with everybody.
Well, right after the Christmas drive-through, the Lord laid it on my heart to make this a permanent all-year thing, but not in the way that I thought it was going to be. And so, surprise, everyone, this is the first announcement. The Christmas and Easter drive-through is now a book for children.
Yes.
It is the reason for the season, the story of Jesus. And it is a children's book.
Yes.
And we will be releasing this book on the 28th at Christ's Church.
Okay, very good. That'll be the book launch, I guess you could say that.
The full-on book launch.
Nice.
And so it is actually the entire drive-through.
Okay.
Captured in full color pictures. They're absolutely beautiful.
So in theory, you could have like a follow-along. Because I know now
actually, yes.
The drive-through has its own presentation that you follow along, but in theory, you could be in the back seat with the book, kind of page by page, going along with the story a little bit.
You could, yes, absolutely, and see it, in paper and real life at the same time. That would be kind of
and obviously it's written in a way that's presenting the story so youth can understand the story of Jesus and obviously present this in a way, because obviously the Good Friday and Easter, the story, it is the lowest of lows and the highest of highs, all in one story here. And so this presents in a way that kids can understand it and kids can comprehend, but not miss the message at the same time.
Exactly. And so that was the original goal of the drive-through, was to capture the entire message. Mm-hmm. But so that now incorporating into the children's book for Easter, you can sit down with them and not have to go through the entire Bible or get them sitting down, not seeing, just hearing. And so, you can capture it, the entire story.
Sure. Well, and when they're that age, entering, early elementary, kindergarten, whatever, that when they're starting to develop the reading skills and things like that. Yeah. At that point, you're not trying to give them the whole Bible at once.
Correct.
You're giving them the teasers. You're giving them the hooks. You're giving them. You're selling the story to them, just like any other. When an author or anybody else is trying to tell a story, you're giving them the things to hook them. The movie trailer, if you will. Here, that's what these books. And so it presents it at that level. It's like, this is the amazing end result of the story here. Yeah. And as you get older, we'll get into more details on how we got here.
Exactly. Yeah.
But for now, you need to know that we at Christmas, this is why we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And Easter and Good Friday, the Good Friday is his passing, and his resurrection 3 days later is why we celebrate Easter.
And it's done in a really soft and gentle way, to where kids are motivated to ask questions, but they're not shocked by any one thing.
Sure.
It's just done with metaphorical representations, that you can see. And it's just a God thing.
Much like the drive-through event, where it is, now here's, I'm not going to say, well, you got the book, you don't need the movie now. Right. I discourage that, because what I think the drive-through gives people an opportunity to do that the book can, but you don't have a captive audience. So it's a little, whereas in the car, you're together as a family going through it. And as your children have questions, or maybe your spouse or someone else has questions, you can kind of discuss it while you're going in the privacy of your car. You know what I mean? And you can have your own family discussion as you're experiencing the event. Now, the book can create that same opportunity. But like I said, with the kids and soccer practice and everything, like this is kind of you as a family devoted, this hour of time of your to do this together. And so, it kind of presents itself.
It's kind of like the difference between seeing pictures of Yosemite and standing underneath Half Dome, feeling like you're 1 inch tall.
Yes.
You get to see it, you get the experience, but you really want to be there to be in the life.
Absolutely.
Because the while we did the audiobook, it doesn't have music, but the drive-through is all musically backed, and you get the whole feeling and the experience. It is. It's the performance.
When you go through the drive-through, you have to realize, okay, this is a life-size.
Absolutely.
Visual.
It's kind of the evolution of the nativity scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where we kind of had, this is that living.
Yeah.
Except for now, it's a story.
When you go through the drive-through, it's actually brought to life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because like I said, the life-size.
Right.
Think of it is
big. I don't know.
Well, you know what?
I've had more than one person say, "I know that they're mannequins, but I was there." It was happening.
It felt real.
It was real.
Think of Disney. Like when you go to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride or one of those rides, the Epcot ball or whatever, and they kind of put you on that little train thing as you go through.
When that dinosaur comes out to go out, you're not like, oh, look. No, you're like, oh.
And so think of it as in those terms is a labor of love. That's a cool kind of Disney experience, Disney ride, presenting the story of Jesus. And kind of giving you a fun Disney-like experience. I can't say Disney,
I've
but
been
you know what I mean.
lovingly labeled Divine Disney.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? Present it in a fun way that makes it like something you can create, like a family thing.
Yes.
And then you can, build an
Memories.
evening around it. It's like, hey, we're going to go and...
and you can eat in your own car.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
It's
I
like
mean?
we're going to do a picnic meal, and we'll go through, and then maybe afterwards we'll all go hit for milkshakes or ice cream or something.
And it'll be warm this time.
That's the good news is during the Easter, like I said, our high today is 96, and
we may not even do hot chocolate. I think we'll probably do fruit punch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Easter one because Christmas is a tad bit chilly.
Yeah. Well, next week,
but we still got to do it, and we do it with joy.
So here next week, because this thing kicks off next week.
Yes,
here with March 30th is the start date.
The start date.
But I know Monday it's supposed to be like 80. But we're in the 90s.
We're in the 90s.
99
We're in
too.
the
So
90s.
yeah, it's gonna be plenty warm. And about 7:30, about the time when it start getting dark out there, it'll just be because at that point it'll be nice. It won't be 80s anymore.
Right.
It'll be like
It's
70s or
you
like
can even
upper
roll the
60s.
windows down and then just let the warm
a crispness to
breeze roll over you.
But it's a nightly event from between 7:30 and 9:30 each night, starting the 30th through April 3rd. And it's the same location as the Christmas
always
drive-through event is.
Yes.
It's out past 6 Mile Hill. Like I'll let you describe it. It's like you're going towards Rio.
Past the water tanker.
Yeah.
Turn your head to the right and you'll see the lights. But it's the old Deer Creek.
Yes.
Where the old shooting range was, where the old Deuce and a Half used to sit.
Yeah.
The Lord had me buy about 77 acres, and so it's out there. And we start when it gets dark. So of course, with the time change, it won't be till 7:30.
Yes.
But
So if you put 6439 West 2nd Roswell that in your GPS, that'll get you where you need to get
right.
to.
And just remember, it's Holy Monday until Good Friday.
Yes.
So Monday through Friday, and get out there because it was an hour and a half wait on Friday for Christmas. So come during the week.
And to really experience it, I'd say
an hour.
Allow yourself an hour.
Yeah.
We do invite you afterwards to kind of park and chat with us and talk. And if you choose to make a love offering, we'd love to have it. But by all means, don't feel obligated if you can't afford it.
It is a free event.
It's a free event. And I think usually you have some
treats
fixins, some
end.
things, and
we do.
some
we
snacks.
got some
and
hot dogs, and we got some drinks
Well,
and stuff like that.
Anytime the gig's around, there's usually
There's
a hot
always a
dog.
hot dog
There's a hot dog
involved.
usually not far behind.
I start the beginning with love and free, and then he ends it with hot dogs and prayer. So
Absolutely.
That's how it works
But
here.
if you have not experienced it before, make this year your first time. Certainly, if you missed the Christmas one, then come for the Easter celebration here. But it does start here on Monday. And the great news is it's 7:30, 9:30. So if you can't be there at 7:30, but like you said, allot yourself an hour. It does go till 9:30. So if you roll in about 9, it kind of allot yourself. Maybe try to get there a little earlier. But and if Monday night's not good, no worries. You got all
Tuesday,
next week
Wednesday,
through
Thursday,
Friday
Saturday.
to come and experience, and then you can roll into your Easter weekend celebrations.
Yeah. And then if any of this information you've missed, you can get it all on rrministries.com. It's all on the website. So basically Real Reason Ministries, but it's rrministries.com.
Very good.
And so all of the flyers and the link to the book and everything is there.
Excellent. Because I was asking, because I know, like I said, you're going to have your book signing here on the
28th.
28th. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hear this.
At Christ Church on the 28th between 11 and 1.
And so that'll be the release party. And that's where you can start getting your first copies of it. But you can get them online afterwards.
At Amazon.
There'll be opportunities at the drive-through.
Yes. So that was the other addition. So we have the fellowship station, the prayer station, and now we have a bookstore.
Station. So if you'd like to want to come in and get the book there,
You can.
so just before you leave, swing on by, and pop in, have a hot dog, and pick up a copy of the book. There too.
Absolutely. And now there'll be live music coming in from LA for the book release. So it's going to be a big party.
And
so don't miss it.
And what time is that again on the 28th?
11 to 1 at Christ
and you
Church
probably want to,
on Sycamore.
And to probably experience the whole thing, probably want to be there at 11.
Yeah, because they're going to start getting the music going. It's Laval Bell and friends from...
Are you going to do a reading or anything like that?
I will be doing a Q&A.
Okay.
And so we'll be doing questions and answers. The book will be there. I'll be signing the books for people. So if you want a signed copy, that's your time to get it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then that way, if you do get it on Saturday here, or the 28th, next week, you can bring it with you while you go through and like to try the event.
Do the double stacking. Like I like your idea. I'm gonna. It's the Mike in the Morning double stack.
There you go. Exactly.
And it's a great time for fellowship.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're running.
And that's what we want to hope, and you kind of come out and meet some folks and you know, this is kind of where your ministry with the gig. Yes. That's obviously, and I'm not trying to. Most Christian churches things all are welcome, all things, but you kind of you kind of blur the lines of Baptist and Catholic, and you know what I'm saying. You're like we're all children of Jesus.
You know,
come on down. You know,
the Baptists won't go to the Methodist church. Yeah. And the Methodists won't go to the Presbyterian.
Sure.
And it goes on and on and on. And down at the gig, we have everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And we'll be starting the gig. Okay, first part of May, Friday night in May.
You're kind of a church in the streets kind of thing.
Yes.
You're down here downtown on the courthouse lawn,
and we encourage people to come down. And we have open mic every Friday night. You know,
open mic. Usually there's live music, live performances, prayer, food. There's always food, and hot dogs and snacks.
Always hot dogs.
And if you feel moved to speak, come on down and speak. But if you just want to sit and be a wallflower and listen, by golly, come on down and join us.
You know, I tell people, come on down and share your testimony, because the one night that you share your testimony may be the one night that the person who needed to hear your testimony
is there.
Absolutely
listened. Okay,
or maybe the message you needed to hear someone.
And your testimony changed someone's life, and you'll never know about it.
Yeah. Exactly,
because it's all about Jesus.
And then once in a while you get lucky, and years later you meet him, and he's like, what
you said really changed my life.
You had that, you get that full circle moment kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, the gig is, and their church on the lawn. It's more of a concert / revival than I would call it a church service.
It's just like I said, it's just absolutely an open air.
Call it a block party that we share your experiences, your tough times and how you got through them, and that's really
when you get to church, and they close the doors behind you at the sanctuary, you got to be quiet. Yeah, you don't have to be quiet down there at the gate. You just be who you are all day, all night.
You could testify and on stage with a hot dog in one hand and a beverage in the other, and say, hey,
and the mic is on the stand.
Yeah,
you could speak and eat at the same time.
Throughout the summer, you'll get as you have more throughout the summer, a lot of times you'll get some great out of town live music and other guests, and some actually in the Christian hip hop, and some of these are folks that have a following, that they've got an audience. They go to places and people know them, and they fill up arenas and things.
We end up with 200 people on the lawn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like
it's
it's really great, and we serve hot dogs then too.
It is. I know. As a radio guy that does remotes on weekends, I've spent many a weekend out there with the hot dogs, and our record ones were always the Sutherland's in Carlsbad. The Sutherland store in Carlsbad, the hardware kind of catch-all store.
Right.
We used to do our thing there, and we in 3 hours we'd give out 400 hot dogs sometimes in those things.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long, but it does take 3 grills.
It does. It's a well-oiled machine to start rolling those dogs and get them out in a timely
I thought you
fashion.
got propane. You didn't get propane?
Yeah. What do you mean you didn't get propane?
and again. And you always sometimes get to this point where all your done dogs you're giving out, and then there's that one person right there, and like, well, it's going to be 3 more minutes.
Right, yeah.
And you're like, and they're always like,
can I have that well done?
I wish I could cook these faster, but the fire only makes it so good. Yeah.
Well,
I know that world.
If I didn't have to run the inner court, you know what I mean, where the microphone is and everything's happening, I'd rather be at the hot dog line, because nobody's leaving. I want to pray with people.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And nobody's leaving
Captive
without the
audience.
hot dog.
That's
that
right.
hot dog will be cold and moldy by the time they get out of my hand.
That's right.
So
that's why you leave it on the grill a little bit.
They don't let me serve hot dogs because nobody gets one.
Yeah.
No, because they all end up cremated because he gets distracted. It's not a burnt offering.
Yeah, burnt
offerings.
My hot dog looks like charcoal. Every one of them. I don't know why, but
and then, Mike, we also have the Southeastern New Mexico Festival going to come up on May 17th on the courthouse lawn.
Yes.
That's when our president has declared we're going to rededicate our country to God.
So that'll be kind of an unofficial summer kickoff, too, I guess you can kind of say, for the gig here as well.
Yes,
too.
sir.
So that'll be our first gathering here. And
we'll have live music, some water sports, some apple dunking and, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So just a fun day for the family
some
to come
good
out,
old just summer, spring festival type activities. So kind of leading into the kickoff to summer, Memorial Day weekend kind of is that unofficial, and that'll be right before that, actually.
Right,
so,
yes, sir.
So it'll be the kickoff to the kickoff.
Yes, sir. And we just would like to say we just want to invite everybody and for out there at the reason for the season, out there at the drive-through.
Yeah.
I encourage people to come because as people, because I'm at the prayer station at the end, and so she doesn't get the report. She gets to get something, and so she has to hear it secondhand from me.
Gotcha.
And people like the kids when they saw where they were when Jesus was being convicted of the kids just sit there and cry. You know what I mean?
Why are they doing that?
Yeah. Why are they doing that to my Jesus and stuff? And it's like, oh my God! And my feminine side comes out, and here we are.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why we this the Easter story. We talk about the good. Because it's at the end. It's the to get to the highest of highs, you sometimes have to get to the lowest of lows to see it.
Well,
and that's really the message in the story sometimes too. Is regardless of how. I mean that is the message that he's resurrected. No matter what people do, what people say, trust in Jesus, and it's going to work out regardless. See what Jesus went through, and it turned out okay for Jesus. There's your proof in the pudding, right there. You know what I mean? That's the message.
Well, and
life is hard, but you stick with Jesus and you'll get through it.
Yeah, our new edition, if they didn't see for Christmas, it brings you back to the highest of highs.
Sure.
The very last thing.
Absolutely. Resurrection. Spoiler alert! It ends on a high note.
It ends on a high note this year, so we do have that. So, but I just encourage everyone that even if you have seen it, come out and be a part of the prayer station.
Absolutely.
Be a part of the fellowship.
Again, it's live performance.
It's warm.
Each experience is a new experience.
You've got people who are just, needing prayer when they go through that, and you never know
if you need practice praying, come on out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would absolutely say, even if you don't have a family to load up in the car and do it, come and you're here by yourself or something, and maybe the Easter holiday you're going to be alone because you're business or just whatever in town for come through, drive through with us, find some fellowship, and who knows, maybe you might have plans for Easter dinner sometime.
We have one lady that comes out and she's a regular. Okay, and I mean really, really regular because every night, like during the Christmas drive-through, she brings people. She'll bring one person out, go through the drive-through, and they'll leave, and then she'll show back up with two more people in the car.
She's a recruiter.
You know what I mean?
She's a recruiter. She was great. I told her I was going to have to get her a little VIP badge because she had brought so many people through.
And that's the best advertising.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I mean, you could buy all the marketing ads in the radio, the newspaper, TV you want. But when there's people actively just grabbing people off the street, you need to see this.
Yes.
That sends a whole different kind of message. It's like a restaurant, It's you can advertise in the world, but at the end of the day, you just start cooking and people show up, and that's generally your best.
Yeah, and that's my plea. Please, everyone, go on our ministries.com and get the flyers and put them on your Facebook.
Absolutely. Spread the word
to
everybody. Come Monday and then invite your neighbors and friends to come Tuesday.
Thank you.
But and then, like we said, but definitely, if you can't wait, come to the book signing here on the 28th at 11. But if not, you can get your copy of the book any of the days, March 30th through there, or go online. But so however you want to do it,
get
do
your
it.
signed copy on the 28th.
Get your copy. Well, and maybe if you catch it the right time, if she's not in the middle, of doing 37 things out there. Maybe
you can come to the welcome station and sneak one in, but
but we would love to have you come and
enjoy the music,
get the book, and put it in the Easter basket with your eggs and your candy and all that, and let the kids read it. Make that. You know what? That could be a weekend.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be a family tradition.
Yes.
That that the book will be read at Easter and at Christmas, and
absolutely
can be brought out as a tradition of telling the real story.
Absolutely, and then of course, join us. I guess first up would be that May 17th kickoff here for the gig, and our first of our summer on the courthouse sessions here, and we'll as we get a little closer to that event,
we'll come back into stuff like that, Mike. And we really appreciate you as always. You know what I mean? You have a great show. You know what I mean? You do such a great job.
Anytime. This is what we do, and these are the kind of things that make our community, great. When we have these opportunities to, especially, because the gig is highly involved, and even with, resources and stuff, homeless community things. People come to these events,
get clothes and food,
it's an opportunity for them to tap in, and for other folks to kind of help them with physical needs. Whether it's getting them off the streets, creating that foundation for them, and a lot of the times the gig is that
catalyst.
That catalyst, really carrot that was dangled to bring them in for that.
Yeah.
So we appreciate what you guys do on all that.
Thank you,
Mike, too. So and by the way, just saying. Whenever you come out to a gig event, if you leave hungry, that's nobody's fault but your own. That is all on you.
True.
All on you. Absolutely. Can't complain about that one. There's always food.
Chips and dips and hot dogs.
That's right.
And whatever anybody brings, because people bring too.
Absolutely.
So,
People
bring your own napkin.
Well, and I don't know. There you go. Hey, there was a minute there where stores are like, hey, you bring your own bag, we want to charge you $1 for our bag.
Right, exactly.
Bring your own hot dog plate or hot dog napkin. But
we'll cook them for you.
There you go. Or those,
we've done that before, so I was like, what?
Hot dog boats or whatever they get, bring your own boat. So whatever. And then again, beginning Monday is when the Easter Reason for the Season drive-through event kicks off.
Monday the 30th.
7:30 to 9:30, and it continues through Good Friday, April 3rd. If you have any questions or anything, you can also go online to, this is where my eyeglasses, rrministries.com. And do some online from the comfort of your underwear and all that. If you
exactly.
Want to do
I don't want to picture that, but yes.
Yeah. Don't share. Again, you time. You do that on you time. The privacy of your
Zoom meeting.
Isolated room. Yes.
and whoever the you is that's listening tonight, we're looking forward to seeing you out there at the Reason for the Season drive-through.
Come join us. Come see an amazing drive-through event. Come get some. If you got grandkids, pick up a few copies and pass them out as Easter gifts.
Oh, and I forgot, the libro is also available in Español. También.
All right. Is it out now or is it
Mexico,
coming out?
On Amazon.
Okay, so if you can get...
It should be by next week.
Okay, so be on the lookout for the book in Español as well, which, again... I don't care what your native tongue is. Buy both copies and teach them.
We'll send them to. We're sending them to Guatemala. We're sending them to Argentina.
Yeah.
We're sending them out. We're going to be doing that in ministry.
But I always tell people,
have it available.
Teach kids foreign language.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At like 4 and 5.
Yeah,
don't wait till high school. By high school, it's you're lucky to get
side by side,
a third of it
so
sinking
you
in.
See,
you do it when they're still learning the reading fundamentals, and you can hit them.
Yeah.
You're going to have a child that's probably fluent in both.
And so the audio book should be available soon as well. I don't know if it will be on Amazon or on Audible, but the Kindle version is available already.
Okay.
And then we'll probably be trying to get the audio Spanish one as available. But I don't know whether or not I'll be reading that one. I'm good, but I don't know if I'm that good.
Is your dialect perfect?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're gonna be, you gotta. That's where, like, I know words, but you're not catching me doing Spanish.
I can read it, but it won't be as pretty as.
They would be like, "Why does that dumb white dude reading Spanish on that?" Hola, amigos. Yeah. See. Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate. We'll see you here again soon.
It was so good to be with you
and
again.
anytime. And congratulations on the book. And please keep us updated as the evolution keeps growing on this one here too. So.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Citing what he calls very good and productive conversations with Iran, President Trump is extending his deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Mr. Trump says the U.S. will hold off attacking Iranian power plants for 5 days. The president says the diplomatic talks with Iran could yield a complete and total resolution of the war. However, he adds the suspension of his threat to attack energy facilities is subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Hundreds of immigration officers to be deployed at U.S. airports today to help with security. A pilot and a co-pilot are dead after a runway collision between a Canadian regional jet and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport. It happened last night. LaGuardia is currently closed. Dow futures up 769 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 365. This is SRN News.
The Iranian war just hit your tech budget, but the price tags haven't caught up yet. Here's what's really happening. Qatar supplies a third of the world's helium. Iranian drones hit their main facility. No helium, no chips. And chips are in everything. Your laptop, TV, gaming console. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. AI is here and companies using it are ahead. If your revenue exceeds 7 figures, get their free guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/Kim. Chip prices nearly doubled in 2026 so far. Industry experts are warning consumer electronics prices could jump 20% or more. Smartphones alone are projected to hit an all-time average price of $523. So do not wait on that laptop or TV you've been eyeing. The ripple hits retail in weeks, not months. This becomes the supply chain story of 2026, bigger than COVID shortages and far less forgiving. Buy now or pay more later. When it comes to chips, the war really does have skin in the game. Get my newsletter at getkim.com.
Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, and guessing is way too risky. Sitting on the sidelines is not an option. Your competitors are already making their move. This is exactly the solution I turn to. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today. As the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses, it brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM together into one single source of truth, making your AI smarter. It doesn't guess, it knows. It automates routine tasks, delivers insights, cuts costs, and powers fast AI decisions. Now with NetSuite's AI connector, you can take the AI you already trust and connect it straight to your business. This is not another add-on tool. It's built into the system that runs your business. NetSuite helps you stay ahead. If your revenues are at least 7 figures, get their free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly comfortable on the daytime highs today. We have cool high pressure overhead, sunshine, and mid-70s. Overnight, we'll have a few clouds passing through, mid-40s, and then we get a big boost on the daytime highs on Tuesday, sunshine, and we're back in the mid-90s. Clear Tuesday night, mid to upper 90s for the afternoon high on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. We got some softball action tomorrow night between Goddard and Roswell. Let's prep for that by telling you what happened with Goddard over the weekend at the Artesia tournament. On Saturday, Goddard lost to Los Lunas by a score of 8-4. Los Lunas usually a pretty good team. Goddard now 5-6 on the season, so they'll play at Roswell tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Roswell is 3-7. Down at Dexter, the Lindsey Callaway tournament going on, and Dexter routed Cobre and Hatch Valley respectively on Wednesday and Thursday, then beat Raton on Friday 5-4. Alani Haran with 2 for 4 day and an RBI. But then Dexter fell to Loving in the championship on Saturday, 1-0. Dexter is now 4-1 on the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The price of regular grade gasoline averaged $3.91 across the United States Friday. Georgia on Friday became the first state in the United States to suspend fuel taxes after the war in the Middle East sent pump prices soaring. Republican Governor Brian Kemp signed into law a 60-day suspension of the state's 33 cents per gallon tax on gas and 37 cents per gallon tax on diesel. federal judge in Chicago said 2 former McDonald's vice presidents can proceed with their lawsuit that they were criticized and subjected to racial slurs because they are black women, and then forced out of the company for complaining. The judge said allegations in the 2020 lawsuit that a regional president had criticized black woman attitude and described one of the plaintiffs and other McDonald's employees as angry black women were enough for their hostile work environment claims to move forward. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Hey, Roswell, it's Ford Truck Month, and your friends at Roswell Ford are rolling out massive savings on all new Fords and 000. You heard right. During Ford Truck Month, get 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, Roswell Ford needs your trade today, so we are willing to overpay. We'll do whatever it takes to get you released from your car, truck, or SUV, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can upgrade to a new Ford for less, with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit with great rates and terms, even if it's less than perfect. Get on board at Roswell Ford. Upgrade to a new Ford today and get huge American-made savings with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days during Ford Truck Month. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com.
Interest accrues from date of sale. 0 APR is $16.67 per thousand. Financed on 2025 F-150s. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined on select vehicles.
If you want to install a new roof, you can do it the cheap way or you can do it the right way. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and one of our customers recently found this out the hard way. He was going to hire us to re-roof his roof, but he found someone to do the job for $2,000 cheaper. Half a year later, this customer called us to re-inspect his brand new roof. Turns out this contractor was not a contractor at all. He had no license and no insurance. The roof was installed incorrectly and never had been passed by the city inspector. We had to re-roof his brand new roof, tear off the shingles and start from scratch. It was the most expensive $2,000 anyone has ever saved. If you need a roof installed the right way, you can trust who your neighbors trust. You can trust Trustmark Roofing for no obligation to the penny quote on your roof transformation. Call 575-755-ROOF. That's 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Tax refund season just got a lot more fun at Roswell Honda. Got a tax refund coming? Don't just spend it, double it at Roswell Honda and turn your refund into a serious upgrade. Roswell Honda will double your refund up to $4,000 plus an additional $1,000 when you trade in your old ride. That's up to $5,000. Let your tax refund work for you. Double it and get behind the wheel of something shiny, reliable, and way more fun to drive. Double your refund all month long at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Do you have the strength, the fortitude, the courage to conquer the Artesia Aquatic Center's Ninja Course? Challengers have come from far and wide, but few have tasted the thrill of victory. Since opening 2 years ago, only a handful of people have been able to complete our most difficult course. These courses are open every weekend. If you've got the moxie, the strength, the temerity, we want you at the Artesia Aquatic Center. This ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Tax time heroes assemble. Your refund has landed at Roswell Nissan. Van Man and the mighty J Squad are soaring high to knock down evil prices. Whether you're upgrading your ride, trading in for better, or grabbing your very first vehicle, our superhero team is here to crush bad financing and deliver your perfect Nissan match. Bring in your tax refund and Nissan will double it up to $4,000. Don't wait. See what superpowered savings you qualify for today. Up to $4,000. Click RoswellNissan.com or stop by Roswell Nissan and let our heroes turn your tax refund into your next set of keys. Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
It's Mornings with Mike Winters. He's portly, short, balding, short-sighted, and long-winded. Sorry, ladies, he's taken. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:58. Stay tuned next hour. Here around 8:15 or so, we're going to replay our interview we had back on Thursday with Deputy District Attorney Hunter Spindle from the 5th Judicial District Office. Had a great conversation. They join us each month from the DA's office there, and we had a great conversation, so we'll play that for you next hour. Hey, if you're looking for a flexible way of earning some extra income, well, good news. With Amazon Flex, you can use your own vehicle to deliver Amazon packages around your area, and you can earn extra money on your own schedule. Start delivering from Roswell with Amazon. Just visit their website, flex.amazon.com, for more information. You can also learn more by marking this date on your calendars. Representatives from Amazon will be here in Roswell on Wednesday, April 8th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the Roswell-Chaves County Economic Development Corporation, their office located downtown here at 220 North Main Street. Parking is available in the rear of the building. And again, that's going to be on April 8th from 11 to 3. You can ask questions, learn more about how you can earn extra income. But if you can't wait, check out the website right now, flex.amazon.com. So, but come join us. Looking forward to see you there at the event. And there you go. Great way to earn some extra income, delivering Amazon packages there. Flex.amazon.com. All right, it is closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Just ahead of his deadline for attacking Iranian power plants, President Trump says he's cutting Iran some slack, pushing back the deadline 5 days.
The president made the announcement on his Truth Social website Monday, just hours ahead of a deadline later in the day. Writing in all capital letters, he said the U.S. and Iran have had, quote, very good and productive conversations that could yield a complete and total resolution in the war. Talks will continue throughout the week. Mr. Trump did not elaborate on the diplomatic negotiations that had taken place. Iran did not immediately acknowledge any talks between the countries. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Meanwhile, the war saw more action overnight.
Israel's military says it launched a wide-scale wave of strikes targeting what it called Iranian terror regime infrastructure in Tehran. A security guard was killed in the south of the country after a broadcasting station associated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps was struck, according to Iranian media. Iran is still able to hit back. The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia are reporting more missile and drone attacks.
The BBC's James Waterhouse in Jerusalem. New York's LaGuardia Airport remains closed in the aftermath of a crash and left 2 people dead.
At approximately 11:40 last night, Air Canada Flight 8646, operated by Jazz, collided with the Port Authority aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle on runway 4. The plane carried 72 passengers and 4 crew.
Port Authority Executive Director Catherine Garcia, heard there on WABC TV, says pilot and co-pilot were killed. Several dozen people were injured. The National Transportation Safety Board is among agencies investigating the crash. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 649 points. The NASDAQ ahead 348 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost. London police are investigating a suspected anti-Semitic hate crime attack
4 vehicles belonging to a Jewish ambulance service were set on fire. Ambulances belonging to a volunteer organization providing emergency medical response were damaged by the fire early this morning, according to the London Fire Brigade. Multiple cylinders on the vehicles exploded, causing windows to break in a nearby block of apartments, but there are no injuries reported. Officers were called to Golders Green, a London neighborhood with a large Jewish population, after getting reports of a fire. The head of the International Energy Agency says the global economy is facing a major threat because of the Iran war. Fatih Birol says the crisis in the Mideast has had a worse impact on oil than the 2 oil shocks of the 1970s combined, and has had a more severe impact on gas markets than the war between Russia and Ukraine. News and analysis, townhall.com. California Governor Gavin Newsom being called out over his claim on taxes in the Golden State.
Governor Newsom, eyeing a potential 2028 presidential bid, claimed Florida and Texas are the, quote, real high-tax states, prompting a sharp rebuttal from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and fact-checkers who showed California's tax burden is higher. Critics argue Newsom's remarks are part of a broader effort to deflect from his record on persistent issues like homelessness, economic challenges, and population loss.
Correspondent Ken Lorman. Former Congressman David Rivera is standing trial over allegations that he secretly lobbied for Venezuela's government during the first Trump administration. Prosecutors allege Rivera was a hired gun for former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The Nasdaq trading 348 points higher. The S&P is up 87. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We're finished. No, Sean was doing a bit talking about the Finnish people are the happiest, and a bunch of Finnish jokes.
The Worldwide Happiness Report came out. Finland, for the 9th year in a row, is ranked number 1.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because, we're all striving to be happier in our lives and do better. And them, well, they're already Finnish.
There you go. I'm a little Finnish. Funny, don't look Finnish. Sorry, I'm going Spaceball. But
maybe we'll get my big cone.
Doesn't look Jewish. But happy Monday, everybody.
Speaking of, when is that supposed to be out? I mean, they announced it last year.
I know it's
Mel Brooks. I know it takes time to make a movie, but Mel Brooks is 99.
I know time is not on his
that's
side.
Right.
You're not wrong there. Like I was thinking the same thing when that History of the World thing was like, but I know they filmed because I remember about a year ago seeing Rick Moranis in the costume and seeing some of the actors back reprising their roles. So there's been filming. So I'm guessing still editing. Still, I don't know.
Maybe.
But
I watched a whole breakdown on on the career of Rick Moranis a while back, a couple days or about a week ago.
Yeah.
And everybody, it's kind of a fascinating story. Everybody says he just, when his wife passed and he became a single father, he left Hollywood.
Yeah, that's kind of the story.
He didn't at all.
No?
In fact, he was busier during the time that he was away than he ever was as an active actor.
Was he behind this?
Voice work.
Oh, okay.
He did like 17 or 18 different projects over the course of like 5 years.
And I imagine those are probably in and out 1-2 day type.
Most of the time in home. Like he has a studio in house.
So he doesn't have to leave the house.
Yeah,
so he can, in theory, raise family and do some side gigs.
That's
voice work, if you will.
That's the dream, man. If you can make it to a point where you can just let your voice pay your bills.
I always that made me a little jelly when like sitcom shows, like for instance, when they rebooted the final reboot of The Odd Couple, the one with Perry and
Thomas
Lennon. Matthew Perry's job was like he was like a sports talk host, but he did the show from his apartment.
Right.
I'm like, come on.
It doesn't feel like it should be fair, but
Frasier, didn't Frasier do his from his house?
No, Frasier had his
did he have
studio?
Yeah. I didn't know if he did it from the house.
I think maybe in the reboot he did it from his house, maybe. But
maybe okay.
I always felt the same thing about 2.5 Men.
Yeah,
like Charlie Harper made that house worth of money writing commercial jingles.
Yeah, writing jingles.
First of all, commercial jingles. Secondly, who still uses commercial jingles? Never mind Trustmark Roofing. Very few people use jingles anymore.
Well, and if you've watched the course of the show, he kind of was doing jingles for shows that were relevant on like Cartoon Network at the time. Like one of the episodes, he's writing for something teenage, not Mutant Ninja Turtles, but one of the shows that was on like Adult Swim that was big at
Aqua Teen Hunger Force,
maybe something like that. It was something with like 60 names.
Oh, Teen Titans probably.
It was something, but it was like a real deal. And so, so he's, and then also at one point, if you remember, he also gets come on a semi-famous where he's doing like a Wiggles kind of gig.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where he started writing them songs. The next thing you know, he's like doing live touring where he's basically getting blitz drunk and doing his farting booger joke songs.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
If this is a self-owned, so to speak, but if you are looking that much into the minutia of the characters on a show, you're spending way too much time. And I do, and I did. Like with Friends, when you finally get to that point where you're like, when did they go to work?
Right. Well,
probably watch.
That was kind of a running joke. Was what Chandler actually did for a living. None of them ever knew, and I can't remember if they actually say it, and they still don't know what he does. But I remember that was a whole running.
No, there was. He said he was like an actuary or something like that.
Yeah,
and they're like they still didn't know.
Yeah, it was like a running joke throughout the whole series. But yeah, well, Joey was an actor, so we kind of knew, and then Monica was a chef, and then.
Phoebe was a
part-time masseuse.
That's right, she was a masseuse. Okay,
yeah.
I was like, she played guitar on street corners and coffee shops. That wasn't.
She got paid as a masseuse. She did have a small stint working at a telemarketing thing because she had to talk Jason Alexander off from killing himself.
Right.
Of course, Aniston's character was. She worked for Neiman Marcus or whatever it was.
Yeah, she was like a fashion coordinator, and they showed her at work a few times, but like. Never saw Chandler go to work.
Yeah. Well, and they did. No, there was a couple where he was at the office and he had a couple awkward boss moments, but we don't really know what he does at the office.
Right.
He's just at an office. You know what I mean? It could be anything. It could be banking. Could be architecture. Who knows? But anyway, I better get the hour going because my interview is kind of long. We had it was like a 40-minute interview with Hunter, so we better get her going. Hunter Spindle with the District Attorney's Office joined us on Thursday. Had a great conversation with him. We're going to play that here. But first, let's get you up to date on the weather, which is kind of roller coastery. Well, it's a big hump.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly comfortable on the daytime highs today. We have cool high pressure overhead, sunshine, and mid-70s. Overnight, we'll have a few clouds passing through, mid-40s, and then we get a big boost on the daytime highs on Tuesday, sunshine, and we're back in the mid-90s. Clear Tuesday night, mid to upper 90s for the afternoon high on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 46 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 54% with winds out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Today, cooler than the weekend. partly cloudy this morning, gradually becoming full-on sunny. Looking at a high of 73 today with northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight with an overnight low of 47 degrees, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then we got several days of hotness. Sunny and a high of 97 for you Tuesday. Winds will be out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny and high of 98 for Wednesday. South winds 5 to 10. Sunny and a high of 100 for Thursday. And then cooling down. Friday, sunny and 73. Saturday, partly cloudy and 66. 20% chance of rain showers on Sunday, mostly sunny and 79. So, big hump. We're at the bottom today. You're going to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday back down the other side there. All right, 8:14, quick break, and then actually it's not that quick of a break. Commercial break, and then our interview with Hunter Spindle on the other side. Don't go away.
Artesia General Hospital presents seasonal reminders for a healthier spring. With new growth all around us, spring is the perfect time to refresh your health. Start with the air you breathe. Replace home air filters and reduce allergens indoors. Step outside and move your body daily. Even a short walk can improve mood and heart health. Add colorful fruits and vegetables to your meals for natural energy and immune support. And don't put off preventive care. A simple checkup today can make a big difference tomorrow. Make this spring your healthiest yet. These healthy living reminders are brought to you by Artesia General Hospital, ready to take care of you and your family.
Tax refund season just got a lot more fun at Roswell Honda. Got a tax refund coming? Don't just spend it, double it at Roswell Honda and turn your refund into a serious upgrade. Roswell Honda will double your refund up to $4,000 plus an additional $1,000 when you trade in your old ride. That's up to $5,000. Let your tax refund work for you. Double it and get behind the wheel of something shiny, reliable, and way more fun to drive. Double your refund all month long at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Join us at the 27th Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise, March 27th and 28th. Kick things off Friday night at 6 p.m. with the cruise starting at Bulldog Bulk. Then join us downtown for 2 full days of classic cars, custom builds, awards, food trucks, and live music Saturday from 11 to 1. Vehicle registration is just $40. Sponsorships are available and spectators are free. Register at artesiachamber.com or 575-746-2744. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Get a built-in look with a Whirlpool flush mount dishwasher that installs flush with the surrounding cabinets at Bush Appliance in Roswell. A third rack provides space for silverware and hard-to-fit utensils. Plus, this dishwasher meets ADA standards for acceptable design. Shop Whirlpool dishwashers today at Bush Appliance in Roswell. Who you gonna call? Bush Appliance. Stop by 111 West Country Club Road in Roswell or call 575-622-6390.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
This morning. We have a Deputy District Attorney here representing the 5th Judicial District, Hunter Spindle, back with us this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning.
How's
see?
How's life? Yeah, you've been. It's been a few months since we've seen you, so I imagine life at the office has kept you. I don't know, chained to the desk maybe a little bit.
More like chained in court. Yeah. I had what, 4 trials in, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
And that's probably unusual, because I'm going to take a guess that 90% of your caseload gets pled out or doesn't necessarily go to a full jury trial. At least, it'll at bare minimum some kind of hearing or something.
The vast majority of them do, probably about 98%. The jury trials I had, they were all violent in nature. A homicide, a kidnapping, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And especially like the homicides typically will go to trial, especially if they're charged with a first degree and we think we can prove it.
Well, I'm going to guess the stiffer the penalty, the more likelihood of it going to trial is. Right. So, and obviously, crimes of violent nature generally carry stiffer sentences than non-violent crimes.
Yeah, correct. And of course, if we can't, if we don't think we can prove a certain element, we have to try to make a plea deal accordingly.
Well, and that's why there's at the end of the day, the different levels of charging someone with a homicide here, from your murder one to manslaughter and things, because, you kill someone, reason does come into play much in that, if it's plotted, planned, and everything, then we got a murder one charge here. But if it's a crime of passion or something, spur of the moment, then we're looking at manslaughter or something, or a second degree murder wasn't planned per se. Yeah, you meant to do it. Right, but you didn't plot and plan it. You just got mad and went nuts for a second.
Right,
kind of.
And the one thing we always have to be cognizant of, and we'll get people calling mad at our office and whatever, but it's like a lot of times we'll plan to go to a jury trial and we have this evidence of possible like self-defense, and we have to take that into consideration, and that's why a lot of times we'll make an offer based on that.
Sure.
And I mean that can even be for just a shooting crime or something of the sort. And juries here are very hesitant to convict someone if they even think it's a
Sure. And that's why I was kind of curious where it kind of just when you were talking here because you see this story a lot on the Netflix documentaries and stuff where it's a person that murdered someone where they kind of were the victim prior to that, where they were abused or something like that. And obviously, the heartstrings, then you get is it justified? Is this? And there's that debate going on. And of course, generally the documentaries try to, spin it towards normally
there's some agenda.
The killer's the victim type thing here. But I'm kind of curious in real life, when you get these types of situations, because look, at the end of the day, committing a crime, even though it's because a crime was committed against you, is still not legal. Right. You cannot take the law into your own hands. Therefore, yes, even if morally you're like they probably don't deserve jail time, by law they committed a crime, have to be charged and have to be prosecuted as such.
Right.
Where the latitude comes is in the judge and the charges and things. But I'm curious, I imagine that probably happens more often than you think, where in quote unquote we have a murder due to a abusive situation, but the victim / suspect 9 times out of 10 is going to probably spend jail time or do something, because it doesn't end the way you think it does on Netflix. Is what I'm trying to get at. But what I'm trying to say is, no, at the end of the day, now that's where the pleas and say, look, clearly we know, and she needs more treatment than punishment, so we need to steer it that way. And I'm sure your office works with them very much on that. But that being said, there's still got to be an overwhelming amount of evidence to say, we could clearly tell there was abuse going on here.
And so what you're kind of getting at is what's considered like battered woman syndrome.
Sure, yeah.
And some states recognize it, some states don't. And it's one of those things that you have to kind of take into consideration. And that goes into everything, even if it's not a woman, if it's a man.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever.
We always assume, but
right.
Be honest, men are, I don't know the number, but it's probably around 20-30%. Yeah.
Well, and even, in that same vein, it's the, looking at it, do these two people have a past history?
Sure.
Is there bad blood between them?
Right.
Is
it more, no, they've been taking shots at each other for years.
Right.
And she just got the last one.
Right. and sometimes it's in such a way that it's like, what can we prove? Where, especially if we have like, all right, well, these easiest way to do is not even really with a woman, because we don't really get a ton of those cases, and you really have to have experts in order to do that.
Sure.
Sort of thing.
And I imagine when those do come in, they're usually high profile, which means a lot of media coverage, et cetera, so forth. So,
yeah. And they're typically few and far between, but the more common version is when you have like two sects of people who have bad blood with each other. This dude attacks this guy, beat him up or whatever. And then now this guy's coming back, retribution
or
whatever.
McCoy almost?
Yeah,
where
kind of.
It's like, now this went back like generations, kind of.
Warring families, especially here in Roswell. There's warring families,
there is
warring
gang
factions,
activities,
warring
and
gangs.
you part of your family rolls with a certain gang, and the other rolls, and by default they have to hate each other.
Well, and you sometimes even see it where it's like families are split in half because they married into another portion, and they don't like each other.
Absolutely. Or someone did someone dirty, and then yep.
Or selling drugs on one side of the street, coming down and crossing turf. That
started dating someone's sister or anything like that. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of that we have to take into consideration, right? So, the question is, if this person did that, was it just planned as a retribution? Were they trying to defend themselves from what they perceived as a threat?
Was a true fear there? Yeah.
Right, based on a past history. So that's all, we have to look at all of that.
Sure.
And try to determine.
And unfortunately, it's not as cut and dry as what people think sometimes. Like, obviously, you watch Law and Order or whatever show you're watching on this stuff. The victim looks like a victim. They look like they've been beaten and things. And 90% of the time, it's not that cut and dry. You have to do some digging. You got to peel back the layer of onion a little bit here.
Yeah. And I watch, what's funny is I watch Law and Order all the time.
Yeah.
I enjoy Law and Order.
Sure.
But I literally sit there and be like, well, that wouldn't happen in court.
Right.
That wouldn't happen. Nope. Nope. That's not how that goes. It's just kind of how it is, So that kind of gets annoying. So I like the beginning portion of it more so than like the trial portion of Law and Order.
Yeah, the actual how they solved it, there was a whole lot of liberties taken on that, generally speaking.
Right.
But you get intrigued by the story. You're like, this guy did what now? Yeah. Or this
and when they
person...
switch it on you and it's some other one that they determine, and you're like, okay, I didn't see that coming. Like, I like that portion of it, right?
And a lot of times, at least there was for a minute there, like if there was any kind of like Dateline story that was kind of getting a lot of national attention, they would do their own version of it basically on the show. That was kind of a...
And you still see that a little bit, not quite as much as you used to, but you definitely do see that a little bit, especially with like the SVU portion of it. And
then there's a couple stories that that kind of Netflix have made famous, or HBO. I know, like that staircase one with the family, and then there's that the guy in North Carolina with his family murdering and the kid, and they're like the latest celebs in that world. But anyway, it doesn't work that way on TV and all that. But I am also kind of curious, like when it comes to, because really also too, when it comes to what you charge and what you can do, it does also come to the victim's cooperation or the victim's family's cooperation. If how many, I'm just kind of curious are most people willing to cooperate, or most people willing not to cooperate? Because I think most law-abiding citizens probably think most people are very forthcoming with your thing. But I got a feeling it's because of kind of the other stuff you talked about, the bad history, the gang stuff. There is that you don't talk. Rats don't talk. Even if you hate that person, they're not flipping. They're not talking. This is, we'll handle it, handle it. We're not letting the cops or the law handle it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it really depends on the case.
Yeah.
Typically for batteries, that sort of stuff, where it's like between family members, we can't prove those without a victim, right? And probably, I don't want to go as far as 50%. I'd probably say 60% of them are dismissed.
Gotcha.
Because of lack of victim cooperation.
Sure.
So we'll see someone who's just a serial wife beater.
Sure.
But because she's afraid of him, she will never testify against him. And I don't mean to sound crass.
Sure.
But, it's hard to be like prosecuted when we have a victim who's uncooperative.
Sure.
And I've said this to people. I'm like, we can't force a victim to testify, and I can't just get an arrest warrant to have her come testify because we don't want to arrest victims. And this is what I don't mean to say to make it sound bad. It's like, but I can prosecute a dead body.
Sure.
And the problem is when you get to 4 or 5, our office and really prosecutors in general look at domestic violence specifically as a prelude to murder.
Sure.
Because the amount of spousal
it's just the
homicides, it's an evolution of it.
Process,
right.
basically.
And and this is coming from someone who is prosecuted and got someone convicted who beat his girlfriend and ended up shooting up her home and killing her.
What?
This is it's an evolution of that.
I know this just because I'll talk with the folks from the Roswell Refuge on the radio here talking about what they deal with, and they help victims and perpetrators of domestic violence. They help both sides there. But that being said, it's exactly they say exactly what you're talking about. It's the by the time they're coming to the refuge, that's basically they've been pushed beyond the limit.
Right.
That ain't the first time. They're not just rolling up after they got slapped for the first time in a car. Or, what I mean? That's this is this is where and of course when you get into domestic violence, it gets into the whole power thing and control and all that. And so they kind of break in that cycle of doing that. But like you said, they're not forthcoming with information because and this is the other cold hard truth is you can't the world of you hear jury tampering, you don't need to jury tamper in towns like this. It is this already. It's already there. If you already have the reputation, if they already know, and someone's going to say, look, there is not a law enforcement agency in the land that says they can protect me if I testify, because at some point, it's too small of a town. It's too people know people. People, it's going to come back on them no matter what promises you make, and so you can't combat that, people, and you can't do anything about it because you can't protect this person you can't send everybody in witness protection. You can't do all that.
And we try to protect people as best we can by keeping their addresses and that sort of stuff private.
Yeah, but everybody knows everybody, and if
they catch wind.
In the world of social media, people are found out in 5 minutes on social media.
Yep.
How many every time you see the lady taking the ball away from the kid at the baseball game or any of these things.
It's all on video. It's all caught,
by the end of the day, they know the whole history of this person. You know what I'm saying? The internet's going to do what the internet does, and that's for the world we live in right now. And if someone does something here, even in here in our town, it's going to go and hit the circuit, and you can't hide from that anymore. And that, by nature, puts a hand behind your back when you're prosecuting these cases.
And that makes it really difficult.
Sure.
And of course, like with domestic violence stuff, I always say it like this. The first time we meet with someone, if someone's unwilling to be cooperative, and we can actually get them in the door to meet with us, and they're like, I don't want to testify, I don't want to do this. We're like, okay, we understand, we'll do this, and here's resources, available, for if you need anything, counseling. Here's resources, hopefully you can give to him, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then once we could say, okay, that's a mistake, right? People mess up, people make mistakes, people regret doing things. But when you see it multiple times, that's a character flaw. That's an issue, right? Yeah. That needs to be addressed.
It's the fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame you, or whatever the saying goes. Yeah.
And same with if you look at DUIs or violent felonies. Yeah. I mean, for one, DUI is a mistake. 2 is a problem. Right.
13 is a.
You need to go to prison for a while.
Which is and that's the part that, because those are the ones you always see on the news. It'll be on the evening news, and it's always the one that, and you're amazed. It's like, how does someone get 17 DUIs and still on the road? You know what I mean? And ideally, no, that shouldn't be. But again, this is where we get to talk to our legislature and talk. When there's not enough judges, there's not enough courts, there's not enough sentencing, there's not enough jails, there's not enough everything to do everything. Guess what? Someone got 17 DUIs.
Well, and a problem with that is they're lucky they haven't killed anyone.
Sure.
And if they have, they should be in prison or at least have done some serious, really good long-term probation, that sort of stuff, and hopefully have kicked the habit. But there's a big miss in the law with DUIs specifically. And I know that's very different from what we were just talking about with violent felonies and that sort of stuff.
It's the show.
But it's the show, right?
We change gears in a moment's notice.
And an 8th DUI in New Mexico is 8th or above, right? And it's 12. It's a 12-year term, 10 years of it which cannot be suspended. So
it's mandatory.
It's mandatory time. The problem is a 7th, just under that, is only 3 years.
Wow.
With 2 years mandatory. So you have a big jump in scope, right?
Sure.
And to me, the 6th, 7th, and 8th needs to be larger.
Sure.
These people need to be spending more time.
They should be doing 2 years in the second or third one.
Correct.
And then by the time they get in their 5th one, maybe they should be doing 5-6 years or whatever it is.
So your first one in New Mexico is a petty misdemeanor. You can only be sentenced up to 6 months. And under the law, you can get a deferred as long as you do everything you need to under a year.
Gotcha.
In a year probation.
Sure.
A second is a full misdemeanor. So again, it's still a year. But after that, once you get to 4, you can get a felony. And
now, do you get the and this is again, I'm naive, because I know another aspect is the expense, because you got to pay for the interlock breathalyzer jobber and all that.
Which is like $90 a month.
Yeah. And so, is that a first time offense? Like if you get busted and regardless of whatever they give you, one of those are going in your car?
Yes.
Or I have no idea.
Yeah, so if you're
or is that a second or third time thing?
No, if you're convicted of a first offense DUI, you're mandated to have a ignition interlock in your car for a year.
And I know a lot of people, the one complaint I hear is man, this is expensive to have that thing in there. And well, so is that DUI.
Right.
So is everything else involved.
Right.
So is that 5th of liquor you probably used to get here.
Well, and it's just even if you're represented by a public defender.
Yeah.
And trying to do everything, you're talking roughly $2,500 or more, roughly, that you're paying in a year time for a DUI.
By design, the whole thing is, and this is to really deter those one-timers. Those ones that say, okay, that's the wake-up call. It was very expensive for me to do this.
Yeah. And especially if you blow high, having to spend 48 hours in jail.
Not to mention if the embarrassment involved of all that, and then the world we live in, your mugshot may or may not end up on online here. There's all that world here.
Yeah.
That's what we live in. But so that's why we want to, kind of look at that first time as almost the, lack of better term, scared straight kind of thing. Problem is when you have actual alcoholics with alcoholism, they're feeding the addiction. Therefore, you can't embarrass them enough. They're going to continue to do these things. And guess what? People that do these break the law. You can take away their license; they're still going to drive.
Right.
Just because they don't have a card in their wallet or an ID or whatever on the phone now, they still do drive.
Right.
It's like criminals. Felons can't buy guns, but they still get them somehow.
Let's make more laws about trying to restrict guns. It's not going to affect anyone except the good card-carrying citizen.
So that's what they're dealing with as well here too. It's like, that was taken away a long time ago. That's not stopping them from driving.
No. and the worst one I've ever seen is someone had 13 convictions. And I'm like, how is this dude still able to go out and do this? And his was bad. I mean, just the video of him was just terrible.
Yeah, he was sloppy drunk.
Oh, yeah, and blew really high. And it's just I'm like, dude, the defense attorney doing their job, wanting me to amend way down to allow him to only do a year in prison. And I'm like, I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, we were
like,
a year of prison.
13th.
Yeah. We were a year of prison 6 arrests ago.
Yeah. Luckily, I was like, the best I can do is do the statutory minimum of 10 years, and that's it. And and he agreed to it after.
And hope to God he gets some kind of rehab program.
Oh yeah, well, it's mandated in the Department of Corrections when you're sentenced to mandatory prison time.
Like, hey, while you're here, you're going to get treatment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they did a motion to suppress and failed on it, and by the end of it, once he lost, that's when they were like, okay, will you do the statutory? I was like, yeah, because I'm not going down. I'm like, we, multiple jurisdictions around the state and other states reduce, and this dude has a problem. It's
This is beyond habitual.
And I'm like, he's lucky he hasn't killed himself or somebody else.
We're officially approaching menace to society status.
Right. He's a danger.
Yes.
And we have to do pretrial detentions here, just like for violent felonies.
Sure.
I filed one on him.
Yeah.
So he could not get out of jail. And he didn't. He didn't get out of jail the whole time. He ended up, by the end of it, he had 2.5 years worth of credit.
Sure.
So he had another 8 years to serve, and that's kind of how it worked out. And, and then, of course, New Mexico, you get half time. So every 30 days, you get 30 days credit. So realistically, he's only going to serve you would only serve 4 more years.
Right.
So, which I have my own thoughts about that. But, still, and because it doesn't consider a violent felony. Personally, I think, and this is just me speaking, not the view of the 5th Judicial District Attorney's Office.
Right.
If the
views expressed by Hunter Spindle.
Yeah, views expressed explicitly by Hunter Spindle. Personally, I think DUIs, a felony level DUI, should be an exception to a good time requirement. I don't think you should. I think it should be considered like a violent felony. In which you only get 4 days credit a month.
Gotcha.
That's what I think.
Because in my estimates, it's a murder.
It could be.
At that point, I'm assuming at this point we've got a fatality. In the accident here. Is it murder one? No. Did they intend to kill? No. But we are all at a point in our lives that we know it's you drink, you get behind the wheel, these things happen.
Yeah.
Ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance isn't. Ignorance of the law has always never been an excuse, but look, okay, 50 years ago, your grandparents, they're like, you don't want to drink and drive because you'll hit a bump and spill your beer. It ain't nothing to do with your alcohol content.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They weren't even wearing seatbelts back then, let alone, okay, if you come from that era, all right, but even now, this is 30 years later, well, you're probably dead, but if you're still driving, you should know better by now.
Right.
But everyone that's driving now, for the most part, grew up in an era of seatbelts, grew up in, don't drink and drive campaigns and everything.
Yeah.
The education is out there, and so you can't, I don't care where you live or where you're from or what the rule is, 0.8, 0.7, point, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You drink, you drive, you're committing a crime, and that's just what's going to happen. And
one of my favorite things I remember, I had a defendant that was prosecuting. This was 3 or 4 years ago. On the video, he's like, "Well, you have a beer with you, and you're driving while intoxicated." He's like, "No, I'm just drinking while I'm driving." He's like, "It's still against the law."
Right. You can't have an open beverage while in the driver's seat of your vehicle.
And he blew like a .06, and granted he took a plea for DUI, but it was just so funny.
Yeah.
And he had was charged with DUI open container, and he had already had a previous one, so it was just one of those things. He's like, I wasn't driving drunk, I was just driving while I was drinking.
Right. I'm not drunk yet.
I never thought of that, but okay.
There you go. It is a story. I got to ask too, because since we're talking about this, because I always hear this one, and so because in theory, if you're sitting in the driver's seat, you're in operation of your control of your vehicle, so to speak, and so you'll get the people that pull over to sleep it off theory and things. So if they get in the back seat and do it, you probably will not hit a charge on that, assuming they pull. But can they still charge you if you're sitting in the driver's seat, technically with the keys ignition, even though you're sleeping on? So pro tip: if this is your thing, get out of your car.
Yep.
Go get in the back seat, leave your keys in the front seat or something, and then then proceed to that way. At least
Right,
you
it's
can
not
avoid
operating.
the charge there on that one.
Now the new cars with the whole push button start.
Yeah.
And different states have different kind of case law on it.
Yeah.
It really hasn't been addressed in New Mexico per se, but a lot of states are putting it as like, because you have that key, no matter where that key's in the car, or even around the car, that push button, it can automatically start it,
Sure.
right? So that's automatically
So in
operating.
theory, you can operate the vehicle.
Well, so it used to be like if you're in the front seat and you throw your keys in the back seat where you can't drive off in the car,
Right.
you're not operating.
Yeah,
it.
that world don't work.
That doesn't work anymore.
Because you don't
So-
even have to get in the car with
Right.
mine. The key's in my pocket. It senses it and unlocks
Exactly.
the door for me already.
Exactly.
Same thing with your startup and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So essentially, for you not to be operating it, you would have to be in the back seat, essentially. Now, of course, like I said, there's no case law on point specifically in New Mexico, but it's, in theory, that would not
Sure.
be operating the car.
Now, if you are one of those people that has the round key to open your trunk and a square key to open for your ignition, you
Yeah.
probably don't have to worry about that.
Right. Which I used to have.
Oh yeah, I
And
did too, back in the day.
my Nissan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and it was always, the round key, that's for the trunk, and the square key is the rectangle keys for the ignition here.
Yeah. Long gone are the days where you could, sit in the front seat with the car on and put in the off position, whatever.
Right.
Because I mean, even that, like if you still have an old school key in the ignition start and it's off.
Yeah.
But if the key is there and you're sleeping it off in the front seat, you're still in operation.
Absolutely. A quick flick of the wrist
Exactly.
and you're back in business.
Exactly.
Here.
And that's why the code section was specifically changed to take away just from driving.
Sure.
It was changed to driving and or operating.
Sure.
And that was kind of to get in conformity with what the Supreme Court said,
Sure.
20 years ago.
Now, like, say, I'm going to take a guess that if there is situations like this, most of those cases probably get pled out. They probably rarely go to trial because at some point you're like thinking, I get it. You were trying to do the right thing. We're not trying.
Right.
We don't want to. Now, again, history comes into play on this one. We've got a history of sleeping on the side. Right? Maybe we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
But I would. So I imagine it rarely goes to trial because then they can get into okay, well, the car engine was cold. It clearly hasn't been running in 2 hours. We can play the Matlock at all you all up one on all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the law is what the law is.
And DUIs probably have a higher plea rate than almost any other.
Well, it's just because there's sheer volumes of them, and so many people do them, and
it's so technical.
Yeah,
like you don't have the wild card, as I would say it, of civilian witnesses typically.
Sure.
You do in an accident case, but in your standard run-of-the-mill DUI, you have 2-3 officers.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's video. And it's them testifying.
And a lot of smelling, and because it's on-scene observation stuff.
Or you have an expert who did the blood testing, or you have, BAC report, but that's it.
And I'm going to say I'm going to take a stab that most DUI arrests aren't the ones you see on YouTube or TikTok where it's the guy stumbling out. They're going to be just barely over the limit. In all intents and purposes, it probably seem a little normal, other than they smell like alcohol and things. They're not to the point of being peeing themselves and being. Those are the ones that end up on TikTok and everything else. So it's you need those blood numbers, the breathalyzer numbers, because when they're stumbling, it can't do all that, and it's pretty easy. It's like, look, come on.
I would probably say that style when they're stumbling is probably a little higher than you would think.
Okay,
it's probably about 25%.
Okay,
maybe a little less. It also, DUIs are kind of weird. They come in waves, where it's like you'll get a whole bunch, especially around holidays.
I'm about to say, I imagine 4th of July, Christmas, the big drinking holidays.
Where you get a lot where people are really drunk, and it's really obvious in videos. And then you get some where, no, the person looks okay, whatever, but they, those ones can be difficult.
Right.
Because on video, you're like, all right, he took 8 steps instead of 9.
Sure.
He put his foot down once. It's slightly okay,
but
not like didn't do well on the standard field sobriety test, but not terrible, right? And he's not slurring.
Well,
he's whatever.
And that's the thing people most, yes, I mean, they are checking your balance and things, but they're really paying attention to, did you listen to instructions? Like, did you
all
take
about instructions.
7 steps or 8 steps or whatever the number of steps they ask you to take, or did you just keep going? You know, that's the stuff, because drunk people, they'll catch part of the statement, but not the back half. And so they start doing that thing, thinking their thing is like, you didn't listen. And so that's the indicator. So when people say, well, I'm diabetic or I'm whatever it is, it's like, they're not trying to see how athletically
inclined you
are. They're trying to see if you can listen and follow instructions. Now, obviously, the eye stuff, that's, because the way the eyes move, that tells for them, if it's jerky, or I don't know the indicators that the cops do, but, they're looking for certain things. And,
vertical and horizontal nystagmus.
And then I'm going to say, because cannabis is now legal, that's a whole nother, because you really can't do a breathalyzer or anything on that.
No, they have specific training called A-Ride for
and
it.
so there's a lot more visual tests. I'm sure there's your eyes probably do something different when you're impaired.
Well, and I can tell you that, especially in practice, they do like eye stuff for there, but like in trial, we can't use it.
Gotcha.
It's a really good indicator of maybe something going on.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot harder to get a DUI case on marijuana right now. It's
yeah. I mean, and luckily New Mexico has their statute is a little bit more broad than some other states.
Gotcha.
Some other states you need an expert witness to testify that, this person would have this effect because of this. And the problem is you can't really do that because the marijuana affects everyone differently.
Sure. That being said,
depending on how long they use them and whatever.
That being said, if your passenger side floorboard is filled up with crumpled up Funyun bags, that's going to be an indicator. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding.
Well, and what people don't realize is people are like, oh, it's just marijuana. It's still illegal to smoke it right before driving.
Sure, it impairs you.
It impairs you.
It's
you can't smoke it while driving.
Yes. Okay. And doesn't have the side effects or have, I'm not going to say there's not a lot of bar fights with a bunch of potheads. I'm just saying that's not that common. You're right. Yeah. But that don't mean they still ain't weaving all over the road or thinking that
and typically driving slower.
Yeah. Exactly.
Driving slower.
How fast you think you're going? 65, 30, sir. You're going 30.
Yeah. I was like, you see a lot more driving slow where they think they're going really fast.
65, 70, 6. You're going 6, sir.
or like some of my favorite ones where they think they're driving and they're just sitting in the middle of the road, not going anywhere.
Right.
And you're like, what are you doing? Just okay.
Trying to order food.
And some of them my favorite, but I've literally heard it on videos before.
Sure.
Where people are like, well, you can't search my car because just for the smell of marijuana. They can if they think.
Sure.
They can if you're driving.
Absolutely.
And they think you're possibly impaired.
Yeah.
Now they can't if it's just they pull you over for a taillight.
Sure.
And they come up and they just smell like marijuana.
Sure.
They need to have other reason to search the car.
You have to give them a reason to say you show impairment, maybe you swerved or you start talking to them and you're
It doesn't mean they can't ask you to get out of the car and then build that.
So if you try to be funny with them, they're going to think this guy's hiring a kite. We're going to do some more investigating.
Oh yeah.
So curtail your jokes accordingly.
It's funny when you say, well, you can't search my car just for marijuana. Well,
hold my beer.
Well, it depends. The answer is it depends, just like everything else in the law.
Absolutely.
It depends.
Sure. Well, and let's face it, if it's sitting right there on the front seat, I mean, now granted, I know it's legal and things, but if you literally have a pipe that's got burnt ash sitting right there in the passenger seat, that looks like you just smoked it. They're going to want to do some more investigating.
That's a good thing there. So like that may be a reason why they started a DUI investigation and search to see if you have smoked and that sort of thing.
Now, if you got a sealed bag sitting there, then that's another story. That's no different than you having a 6-pack of beer sitting there. As long as it's
unopened. Yeah.
They
can, and that's always a key difference. And when the law came in, that was something because I did a training with law enforcement in Roswell and Artesia and Lee County and Carlsbad. And one of the big things I had to tell them is I had to make that splitting of hairs. And they're like, well, I don't understand how we're supposed to do our job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's on you. And they're like, well, Well, I don't understand how they're supposed to, like, how we're supposed to understand the difference. And I'm like, that's why you come to these.
Sure.
And I teach you.
Sure.
And it's like, your job is to split hairs.
And to be honest, this is new territory for everybody. So there's going to be an evolution on this. And
oh, yeah.
And you know what? Science may allow us a more definitive way of spotting impairment on marijuana here easier, quicker. Maybe there's going to be a blood test we can figure out. Or I don't know what'll be out there, whatever technology gives us.
And that change in the law had, like, really sweeping effects, too, because they had, every canine, drug dog that was in the state, they had
all were no marijuana.
Yeah, they all had to be retired.
Yeah, and because that's expensive. You can't just retrain them to forget marijuana smell and only focus on meth or fentanyl or whatever.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. It's like, after it came in, RPD had to retire all their canines, and they had to get new canines and wait for them to be trained. Sure. And that's why all their canines that are there now have only been there a couple years.
Right.
They're young. They're not puppies anymore, but they're still, 3-4 years old.
They've got a lot of service life, because depending on health and everything, they'll go 10 years.
Yeah, 8 to 10 years is that.
Yeah, depending on
that time.
And of course too, this is where people don't realize too, is that when it comes to canines, some canines are the drug sniffers. Mm-hmm. Others are search and rescue. They're not out looking for drugs. They're looking for lost people and things. Yeah. That's what they're trained to do, is, the ones that smell the shirt and go, the bloodhound, go run into the woods looking for the,
Well, and then you have, like, the ones like ours. They're all trained. Similarly trained.
They're kind of Swiss Army knives, or they're proficient at multiple
things.
Yeah.
And so when they all kind of come from the same style breeders,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they get determined where they're going to go.
Sure.
So it's like our court facility dogs are trained. Some are come from some of the same places where some
but their training involves more of being a calming force and being a loving force.
They see what the dogs specifically are good for.
Pick up on feelings. Yeah.
And so, like, ours are trained much more to be an aid in court. And then there's some that are good with just being a more of a personal dog for someone to own,
they almost, like, I would almost
service
think,
dog.
like the DA dogs kind of like, they would also be the ones that would have that skill set that you see sometimes for people that have service dogs, for, like, when they go into epileptic shocks, or that they can kind of sense that that's about to happen and give them their medicine. Like, you've seen those kind of, like the DA dogs come from that same id on that too, where
and that's because they can smell.
Sure,
they can smell and sense your pheromones and your change in your body chemistry and all that. And like, our dogs are trained in like 90 different things. Sure, but they only focus on one area.
They can sense when someone's nervous or fearing or scared, and they know to put the head on the lap, or do what dogs do to make you. Oh,
exactly. And they come in handy especially for like sex offenses and stuff with children. And
we're almost out of time here, but maybe we can use this last plug here. Folks, support the DA Dog program. I know they have the golf tournament, and they have the fundraisers, salsas and things. Please keep supporting. Buy those. Sign up when they do. But if you'd like to make donations directly, unfortunately, there is no statewide, federal. There's no real funding for this program that has not only been proven to succeed time and time again, but is now being copied in other parts of the state and country here. And it really all kind of homegrown right here in the 5th District here, where these dogs really have been a game changer for prosecutors like Hunter here to get witnesses to testify, to get that information we were talking about earlier that's so hard to get to because of trauma or because of other issues. These dogs have been that icebreaker, that way to crack through that armor a little bit to get to that. And when they're not doing that kind of stuff, they are serving in, like, the Texas shootings.
Yep.
They were there, in grief support and things.
They were at the local hospital when that car accident happened the other day. They were there.
And then on occasion, they're just hanging out at the library having kids read to them. So,
or going to schools.
Yeah, and doing so. They're celebrities and do their thing. And so,
with their own baseball cards.
Yeah, they got their cool. I got them right over here. It's all thanks to the generosity of private donations and supporting the golf tournaments and buying salsa and doing all these things over the years. Please continue to do that. Go look for the DA Dog. I know if you do type in DA Dogs 5th Edition on Facebook, the page will pop right up there. Like, follow, reach out. They're always looking for more folks to help raise funds and to help raise awareness for this program to eventually get it to where, our legislators are funding this.
Yep.
And so we don't have to do as many golf tournaments to help people to do this.
And you can always reach out to the district attorney's office and ask for Gina Yeager, and she will.
She's the DA dog lady.
She's the dog mama, as
That's
they call
right.
her, and she can help you out.
Absolutely. Hunters, always appreciate the visit.
Of course.
Maybe
Love being here.
less of a gap between now and then, but I know duty waits, so that's what it is. So. But we appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump is backing away from his initial threat to obliterate Iranian power plants starting later today. He says there have been productive talks between the U.S. and Iran, and as a result, he's giving Iran an additional 5 days. Meantime, the president says the U.S. is not budging an inch on its demands. 2 pilots are dead following a crash last night. Happened on a runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport. The airport remains closed. An Air Canada regional jet had just landed from Montreal when it crashed into a fire truck, crushing the plane's nose. The pilot and co-pilot were killed. Dozens of people were injured. Police in London investigating a suspected anti-Semitic hate crime attack on 4 vehicles belonging to a Jewish ambulance service. Those vehicles set on fire. The Dow is up 947 points. More details, srnnews.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly comfortable on the daytime highs today. We have cool high pressure overhead, sunshine, and mid-70s. Overnight, we'll have a few clouds passing through, mid-40s, and then we get a big boost on the daytime highs on Tuesday, sunshine, and we're back in the mid-90s. Clear Tuesday night, mid to upper 90s for the afternoon high on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Your home for Armed American Radio in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump is holding off on his initial threat to obliterate Iranian power plants. White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Over the weekend, the president set a Monday deadline for Iran to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz to international shipping. But in a morning social media post, he said U.S.-Iranian talks are underway and that he was extending his deadline by 5 days. The president wrote that talks to end the war would continue throughout the week.
And the president insists the U.S. is not giving an inch in its demands.
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it, low-key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want the nuclear dust. We're going to want that. And I think we're going to get that. We've agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
You want the enriched uranium before you can end this?
We want no enrichment, but we also want the enriched uranium.
2 pilots are dead following a crash last night on a runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport. The airport is closed. An Air Canada regional jet had just landed from Montreal when it crashed into a fire truck, crushing the plane's nose. Port Authority Executive Director Catherine Garcia says dozens of people were hurt.
Initial numbers indicate that 41 passengers and crew were transported to the hospital, as well as the ARF officers. At this time, we understand that 32 have been released, but there are also serious injuries.
The audio from WABC-TV and the National Transportation Safety Board is among the agencies investigating that deadly crash at LaGuardia. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 997 points. The Nasdaq ahead 459, and the S&P trading 128 points higher. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The head of the International Energy Agency says global economy is facing a major threat because of the Iran war.
Fatih Birol has been at the center of efforts to keep supplies of oil and gas flowing around the world. About 1/5 of the world's oil and gas is transported through the Strait of Hormuz, and the Asia-Pacific region is particularly reliant on these supplies. As a sign of nervousness about the possible escalation of the war, stock markets in Asia have fallen. The Kospi in South Korea was down more than 5% in early trading. Japan's Nikkei just under 5%.
And that's the BBC's Maura Fogarty. Italy's Conservative Premier Giorgia Meloni is facing a pivotal political test. Comes in the form of a 2-day referendum dealing with judicial reform. The vote began yesterday. It has transformed into a broader judgment on her leadership both at home in Italy and in foreign affairs. News and analysis at townhall.com. Well, once again, the NCAA tournament is producing upsets and results that no one can predict.
No perfect men's NCAA tournament brackets remain among the millions of entries in the ESPN Bracket Challenge and in contests tracked on the NCAA's official website. The end came when number 6 Tennessee beat number 3 seed Virginia in the 44th game of the tournament. Sunday started with 2 perfect brackets left in the ESPN contest and 4 on the NCAA's official website, which tracks the ESPN Challenge along with 6 contests run by other outlets. ESPN had 26.5 million entries and 36 million were tracked by the NCAA website. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
The Supreme Court is taking up a case out of Mississippi over whether states can count mail-in ballots that arrive late. The outcome of the case could affect voters in 14 states and D.C. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes.
Hope you have a good weekend.
Indeed. It was kind of a semi-quiet one. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going. I think most people were just kind of hunkering down, trying to stay out of the heat.
Yeah. It was pretty low-key for us. We kind of went out to lunch, like a late lunch on Saturday. About it. Kind of went to Cattle Bear.
Nice.
Came out of French dip. I had what did I have? I had the salad bar.
It wasn't memorable.
No. I'm trying to think now.
By the way, I got to say, we talked about it last week when I had Gary Thright on. Happy 50th anniversary to the Cattle Baron franchise stores. They're going to be celebrating over the next 3 months with the Chamber.
Okay.
Cattle Baron, I believe, is first with a business after hours.
Okay.
Then Farley's is next.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, Pasta Cafe is next, and Farley's will round out the 3.
Okay, very good.
So, 50 years they've been bussing it.
I was just mentioning to Kim over the weekend that, you know what? We haven't been to Pasta Cafe in a minute. We need to go back. Went to Farley's a couple weeks ago, and of course we just had Cattle Baron over the weekend.
Farley's is one of those that if you're not of a certain age or demographic, you just kind of forget about.
Well, yeah.
It's like the extended parking lot of the Starbucks for a lot of people.
Well, and in all fairness, I don't go during their peak hours where, people go to drink and, have fun.
Do what the young people do.
Yeah. I'm like,
I don't drink in public.
I went there
I drink alone with my cat like a normal person.
Yeah, I went there like at 1:30 on a Saturday, and so it was delightful. Yeah, the food was, was quiet. So the service was quick. Food was good.
That's the thing about Cattle Baron. Even if they are packed, it always feels like virtually empty. It's because the lighting in there, the ambiance, you just feel like you're having kind of a personal experience.
One thing I do miss, and I think COVID killed it, is the big blocks of cheese at the salad bar.
I was just talking to somebody about that because they said they went to Cattle Baron and they got the salad bar. I'm like, did you get some of the cheese?
They don't have the cheese no more.
That's a bummer.
I think COVID killed the cheese.
COVID killed the cheese.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Here's the thing.
Everything else is there. It's the soups, the huge selection of many items, but the blocks of cheese are no longer there.
And I know that a lot of benefit, I hate saying it like that, benefits came out of the pandemic. Like we learned to do things in a different way. Like with Miss Amy, I was talking about how the concept of the drive-through fundraiser came from COVID.
Right.
It's something that's kind of stuck with us. But at the same time, hasn't it been long enough? Can you bring back the blocks of cheese, please?
Well, you know what? Remind me next time we have the Walker Aviation folks in, because the president of the board just so happens to be kind of a big deal.
That's right.
With the Cattle Baron family. So
that's right.
Anyone can solve the cheese mystery.
Well, I got a buddy.
Cheesegate, if you will.
Cheesegate, yeah. A buddy of mine is the marketing director for Cattle Baron. So he didn't really have much pull.
Work your cheese angles.
But, you know what I'm going to do? Next time I go to Cattle, I'm just going to bring a brick of cheese with me.
I brought my own.
No, thanks. I brought my own little cheese knife with it. Bring out the whole charcuterie set.
Yep. But I had a nice lunch there on Saturday, and it was a pretty low key weekend for us. I didn't watch it, but I caught highlights. Apparently, they had, which I don't know if I'm all about this, but it is what it is. They had, I guess they're going to bring flag football to the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so now they're doing a big push, and apparently there's professional flag football players.
Well, I don't know if I guess there's a professional league, but I've always known that people, especially out like east, like in Georgia, Alabama, they take it very seriously.
Yeah. Well, over the weekend, they had this big event, I think, to promote flag football, the Olympics and all that. But Fanatics was behind the.
I was going to say, I know the NFL was trying to make a big push into like the flag football.
And so this is what it is. And so the NFL ambassadors of this are Tom Brady, Jaden Daniels.
Wow.
And so they had like this all-star game where they literally pit NFL/celebrities, because not all the players were NFL. Some were /celebrities. If you want to use that term.
Celebrity gets tossed around so loosely.
Well, I know who they are, but I don't know if half the other world does. But against flag football all-stars, I guess you'd say. By the way, the flag football all-stars smoked the NFL players.
Really?
Well, it's a different sport,
It is a different style of game.
And quite frankly, now, I don't know if I want my NFL players out there playing it. Because let's just say this, okay? So Tom Brady, Jaden. So there was like 2 NFL teams, and then a couple all-star teams. They had some kind of tournament or something. I don't know what it was, but Tom Brady was like captaining one of the NFL teams with Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
The other NFL team was captained by Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Which they're both LSU boys. There's a whole connection there and all that. But anyway, and then there was some former current-ish NFL players and celebrities on the teams. Like as far as NFL players go, Odell Beckham Jr. was on there. Devontae Adams, couple other NFL guys.
This is completely off topic, but have you ever seen that Home Shopping Network clip where the guy is showing how sharp the sword is?
Yeah.
And the piece jumps off. He goes, "Oh, the tip just got me, Odell." That just made me think of the tip just got me, Odell.
And then they had non-NFL players. Jake Paul was on there. And the other one was Speed.
If you stop paying attention to him, he'll go away.
Well, he was there for mouthpiece mostly. He was just there to antagonize Tom Brady the whole time, pretty much. And Speed was the other.
I Show Speed?
Yes.
Okay.
Was the other celebrity that was there. And like I said, but that being said, I saw Joe Burrow, because these guys are also playing receiver roles because it's flag football. The rules are different than NFL. They're not built the same. They're two different sports, really.
Right.
One's dodgeball with a football. The other's football. But Joe Burrow's out there, I don't know. All I'm saying is, Jaden Daniels came off an injury-laden season. Joe Burrow came off an injury-laden season. I don't know if I want to see them running around on a flag football field blowing ACLs.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't waste your time at indie events. We got a pay-per-view coming up. I get it.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I understand.
You ain't getting millions of dollars to play flag football. Tom Brady, you're done. I don't care. Blow your knee out.
But
Odell Beckham Jr., blow your knee out. But Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, you need to be riding the pine on
And
this.
I will say, especially with flag football, there's a lot more juking involved.
Yeah.
And that's rough on the knees.
That's what I'm saying. The hips, knees, these guys have issues. Have had, now, that being said, Jaden Daniels looked amazing out there and was chucking it. And the field's like 50 yards. He's literally in the end zone chucking to Odell Beckham and these guys in the end zone. So I can't wait for the NFL season. But he's playing receiver and running around juking people. I'm like, stop that. Stop.
Knock it off.
You park your butt here, man.
Yeah, that can be nerve-wracking. But thinking back to when we were doing Hike It, Spike It, consistently we would and they run tournaments like when we did Hike It and Spike It. They ran tournaments all over the country. Not Hike It, Spike It, but flag football organizations would run tournaments.
Right.
With the grand prize being to get to go to Roswell to compete in Hike It and Spike It.
Right.
So we'd have teams from all over the place, but a majority of the teams came from Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, and they were serious about it.
Yeah.
Out on the field at 5 a.m.
training and
practicing
stuff. Yeah.
And running drills.
Caring about their
time.
bodies and things.
Meanwhile, the entire time I'm just looking for any semblance of shade or an air conditioner. I couldn't possibly focus on what's happening out there, but yeah, they take it very seriously. So I could see how something like this could be elevated to a national spotlight for sure.
Sure. Well, especially if they're going to make an Olympic sport, that definitely puts it on another level. Again, though, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I know flag football has here in the United States, but outside of that, other countries, or is this going to be Dream Team number 3?
Well, that's just it. I think that I think what you'll see in an Olympic situation is a lot of the folks who've made flag football a big deal here will represent maybe home countries, they're American, but they're here representing, Kazakhstan or whatever.
Right. I just don't picture kids in the middle of Spain playing flag football. I mean, they're playing soccer.
They're playing soccer, right?
Or their football, whatever. And that's the thing is, in countries like that, the reason football has taken such a precedent. Number one, because it's the national sport, but number two, it requires a ball. That's all you need. Flag football, there's the flags you have to keep track of. There's all this extra equipment. So I could see how that's maybe prohibitive to certain people. Sure. You know what I think? This is what I think. Some
inquisitive marketing person out there ought to do is, since, and do it during Olympic years.
Yeah.
Just like the Olympics, because you have like the Olympics, you have the Paralympics, and, it's kind of a season, for us. And I think the world of COVID gave us an opportunity. Because some of this is carried on 5 and 6 years later.
Right.
I think we should have an Olympic Games of internet sports. And you literally get the marble races, the keepy-uppy guys.
the pro tag people, professional tag. I can't remember.
And you make it, and you do it maybe in the same host city. I don't know. Maybe that's too expensive taste for the first time, but you coincide it with the Olympics.
I could see that working almost like an X Games, but
Yes.
like a I don't know, on the online games or something like that.
The EL games. I don't know.
The alt games.
Yeah.
Like there are certain. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember the name of the sport, but I discovered a sport at a restaurant in Hobbs. The sport wasn't happening there. It was on TV. They were like showing. It was almost like they were showing ESPN 8 the Ocho because it was very obscure sports. And one of the ones they were showing was it's this like hybrid of basketball and pro wrestling.
Okay.
Where like people were trying to like make layups and get the ball in, but they were getting like stopped and then suplexed.
Is that murder ball?
It's kind of like that, yeah. But it was like a legit sport. It was happening in like a stadium or arena, and people were there watching. So
well, you know what? I mean, we should have auditions, but I think there would be a big enough. Maybe Red Bull gets involved. I mean, of course, I don't want it to be all Red Bull games because they're going to turn to Red Bull games, and we don't need. I've seen enough people in cardboard boat/flying contraptions going off piers into water. I've seen enough of that. I want to see, the marbles, the, who knows what we go with this? It could be I've seen a whole series with the Tyco car racers, track setups and everything. Maybe there's a Lego category. I don't know.
Hey, did they? Okay, so I heard for the last several years, they've been saying that athletes have taken time away, mostly like in my realm, the pro wrestlers have been taking time away because they're going to be on this season of the reboot of American Gladiators.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But has that happened yet? Has that actually come out yet?
This is the first time I'm hearing there was a reboot of American Gladiator.
Okay, here it is. Okay. April 17th is when it's supposed to premiere.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's
about a month away.
Well, because there was a guy, a wrestler named Wardlow, who took time away specifically because he was going to be one of the athletes. But the host is The Miz, Mike Wazowski, who some know from the real world, but most know from WWE. So it's very like centric into that universe. So I've been, privy to certain people leaving to film this series, but I never saw anything from it. I was like, has it happened yet? Or are we already in season 2? Because like I said, they've been doing this for about 2 years now, talking about this.
Yeah, because I'm all for America. Because this, like you said, that this was a reboot of a reboot. Because then they tried to reboot Gladiators.
They did years ago with Hulk Hogan,
and it wasn't anywhere near as good as the OG. Mm-mm. And so I hope they go back more to the. I mean,
that being
the blazer,
said,
taser, phaser, lasers, whatever. But I loved like the tennis ball game, the jousting. Those were fun activities to watch. I liked those.
Right. There's I'm only 2 episodes deep. I finished the second episode over the weekend, but I think it's a 3-part documentary on Netflix about the original American Gladiators.
Yeah.
And kind of its inception and that first season and how just a disaster it was. Because like everything was just put together at the last second. Like nothing was like safety measures or anything. And they ran like they tested all the games, but they didn't test them like the athletes were doing because they filmed several episodes in a day.
Right.
So they were getting like knocked off the jousting pedestal like 16 different times.
Sure.
Or that game where the guy has to like fly on the rope into you and you have to
yes.
That resulted in a career-ending injury for the guy who took that. It was like he was like their big, like their big guy. He had the big blonde hair.
Right.
That was his first and last episode.
Wow. Yeah, I knew it was pretty, because I think I remember seeing something like when they were selecting the gladiators, and turned out one of them had like a serious drug problem, and because it was like the criteria was like they wanted like hot but not manly.
Yeah.
There was a whole, so when they end up picking Blaze and I can't remember their names,
like Thunder and all that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it too was they mentioned this in the documentary. Steroid culture was huge.
Yeah, it was the height of it
at
that time.
And
Yeah.
it was almost like it was the peer pressure situation was if you're not taking steroids, you're not going to keep
and all
up.
those guys were juiced.
Yeah.
I mean, because they were cut. Every single one of the like even the most normal looking one still was pretty.
Right.
Like
you could still see that, like the sinew of the muscle in their arm.
Model quality. But I just hope if they do it, like that was the tennis ball one was amazing. The
my personal favorite was, and it's simple, but it was that uphill treadmill.
Yeah.
That always seemed next to impossible to get up. And then they finally had to put the rope in.
Yeah, and the one I love too, which is probably one they'd never do again because of it ended careers, I'm sure, was the gauntlet one that had like literally they put like two gladiators, and it was like Iron Man football. Basically, They had to get by them
to get the balls into those.
It was basically the Omaha drill, or they call it in football practice. It was basically that, and I was like, that's delightful. But today they would never.
No,
never.
Well, I mean, every contestant that's going to be on this show had to sign like a mountain of paperwork.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and I remember like in the documentary, they were talking about tryouts and stuff, and it was literally like, they'd be out there in California, and it would just be in some park somewhere, and the people doing all right, you're good, go try out.
Yeah, like what's that? What is that beach?
Venice Beach?
Is Venice Beach where they just have all the workout equipment?
The bodybuilders, not yeah.
Which, I mean, that's one way to get scouted.
That's true. All right, it is 9:24. Elliot is here. Let's do this. Let's pause for your weather and a quick break, and then we'll talk with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot on the other side. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly comfortable on the daytime highs today. We have cool high pressure overhead, sunshine, and mid-70s. Overnight, we'll have a few clouds passing through, mid-40s, and then we get a big boost on the daytime highs on Tuesday, sunshine, and we're back in the mid-90s. Clear Tuesday night, mid to upper 90s for the afternoon high on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Artesia General Hospital presents Healthy Living Tips for the Spring Season. Spring is a time of renewal and a great opportunity to refresh your health habits. Start by managing seasonal allergies. Keep windows closed on high pollen days. Wash your hands and clothes after being outdoors, and talk with your provider about the right allergy medications for you. As the weather warms up, get moving. Take a family walk, plant a garden, or enjoy outdoor activities to boost heart health and energy. Spring is also a perfect time for checkups and preventive screenings. Staying ahead of your health helps prevent bigger problems down the road. And don't forget hydration. Warmer days means your body needs more water. Small steps now can lead to a healthier season ahead. These healthy living tips are presented by Artesia General Hospital, ready to help take care of you and your family.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe, Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Hey, Roswell, it's Ford Truck Month, and your friends at Roswell Ford are rolling out massive savings on all new Fords and 000. You heard right. During Ford Truck Month, get 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, Roswell Ford needs your trade today, so we are willing to overpay. We'll do whatever it takes to get you released from your car, truck, or SUV, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can upgrade to a new Ford for less with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit with great rates and terms, even if it's less than perfect. Get on board at Roswell Ford. Upgrade to a new Ford today and get huge American-made savings with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days during Ford Truck Month. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com.
Interest accrues from date of sale. 0 APR is $16.67 per thousand. Financed on 2025 F-150s. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined on select vehicles.
Get a built-in look with a Whirlpool flush mount dishwasher that installs flush with the surrounding cabinets at Bush Appliance in Roswell. A third rack provides space for silverware and hard-to-fit utensils. Plus, this dishwasher meets ADA standards for acceptable design. Shop Whirlpool dishwashers today at Bush Appliance in Roswell. Who you gonna call? Bush Appliance. Stop by 111 West Country Club Road in Roswell or call 575-622-6390.
When you need tough, reliable equipment that gets the job done right, turn to your local Kubota experts. Amigo Machinery in Roswell is proud to be your hometown Kubota dealer, offering a full line of tractors, mowers, and construction equipment, plus genuine parts and expert service and advice. Locally owned and operated and here for you. Stop by Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell or call us at 575-624-2026. Amigo Machinery, your trusted local Kubota dealer for all of Southeast New Mexico.
March Mania is on all month long at Roswell Hyundai with full court savings across the lot on a great selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get 4.99% APR for 60 months on 2026 Hyundai Santa Cruz, 3.99% for 60 months on 2026 Palisade, and 0.99% for 60 months on 2026 Elantra or Sonata. Or get 0% for 60 months and no payments for 90 days on 2026 Hyundai Tucson. Nothing but net savings all month long during March Mania at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
At New Mexico Gas Company, we believe there's money hiding in your home. It's true. It's hiding in your insulation, in your water heater, and in your furnace. And New Mexico Gas Company can help you tap into that money with rebates up to $800 for high-efficiency natural gas improvements. Your energy costs will go down, and your wallet will thank you. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and we provide energy efficiency solutions to save you money. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgcgetrebates.com.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-349-8877. That's 800-349-8877.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:31, and joining us in studio this morning from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
How's your world this morning?
It's interesting. You know, I was just telling her, like, kind of tired, but exciting, energetic at the same time. So, and it's beautiful outside.
Sure. Well, I imagine this is a busy time of year.
It is.
I would guess. I mean, sure, interest rates and all that definitely have something to do with people buying and selling homes.
Correct.
But when the weather's nice, people like to go look. People like to go out and dream a little bit. And generally speaking, sometimes they pull the trigger. They find the perfect house and they say, you know what? So I'm going to say, as the weather gets nicer, so is probably
exciting
real
times.
estate agents' dance cards get a little busier too.
It's exciting times. Houses are being blown up on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Some are being built over here. So
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of new construction in the area. So, yeah.
So, folks, keep an eye on the stuff that's happening out there. Talk to your agent. Get pre-approved first, obviously.
Sure.
Okay. So, and that way you know what you're shopping for.
Well, and that's what, I usually, when I kind of start these interviews here, Elliot is the guy you see before you talk to the real estate agent.
Correct.
When that way, and trust me, the real estate agent will be much more thankful that you talk to someone like Elliot first, because that way now they know exactly what they're dealing with. And so you go into Elliot, that way it keeps you from overselling yourself, because, you'd be like, I just found my home of my dreams. It's $500,000. Oh, you're only approved for $250,000. So
I know. You're gonna have to cut it in half.
Yeah. So that's where you come and visit Elliot first. Elliot say, okay, and then Elliot will give you the straight skinny on that. He'd be like, look, I can get you approved for $300,000, but you've got other bills to pay. You've got everything. Ideally, to keep you from stretching yourself too thin, you need to be looking at a house around $225,000, or something like that.
Yeah, you need to be realistic of what you can afford.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I understand. We all want the best things. I mean, I have a good example. I have a guy in Carlsbad right now that the poor guy just keep going too high, and he keeps saying, but I don't want to keep the payments under $3,000.
Yeah.
And I tell him, this. He asked me, what about the first time home buying progress and this and that? It's like, brother, that's what I'm doing for you.
Right. We're already there. This is after all that.
Don't get discouraged. Just relax. Don't rush.
Sure.
See, this is the problem with a lot of people. Okay. I send them an email, tell them to pre-approve. I need you to give me all this stuff. And they totally forget about me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And go shopping. They're like, give me the stuff I need. Because what if you tell me that you made $2,200 and in reality you make $25,000 or $3,000,
right?
Because you're not counting numbers correctly. Okay, folks, it's very incredible. A lot of people out there don't really know what they're making.
Sure, ballpark.
They just have an idea, but that's it.
Sure. Yeah.
There is no way, even today, that I just let my employer just pay me and I don't double check what I get paid. I need to know what I'm getting paid.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm the first one that you will hear. I'm not doing this for money anymore. Okay. I'm not greedy with money. I'm all about taking care of customers. So it's a totally different perspective. But at the same time, I still have to look that I actually got paid.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
I think everybody should know what they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because a lot of people don't. It's very interesting. I don't know how people can do that, but they do. But no, get pre-approved as soon as possible, and that way you know what you can afford.
Well, and generally these are, this is, and to be honest, this is where sometimes home ownership does that start your life to adulting a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. It's like you graduate into life.
Sure. And so you're like, okay, now this is why they talk about planning a budget. Usually I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, I got $600 in my bank account. I'm good to go buy dinner tonight or whatever.
And the part that's really, really interesting is I tell the guys, like, it's okay, bud. Don't get discouraged. What he wants is too high.
Sure.
Okay. And I get it. We all want the best. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
Okay. But we still need to bring ourselves back to reality, what we can afford. So I can tell he was like throwing the towel.
Sure.
And I say, you know what, bud? It's okay. In this business, I always tell people, don't be rushing on the house that you want to go for. Obviously, if you find the one you want, obviously you're going to go for it. But
Sure.
what I'm saying is, do not rush. Because guess what? I will say 9 out of 10 times, everybody that buys the house tell me, "Oh, another one that I actually like better just came up."
There's always
and I'm already on contract.
Absolutely.
So don't rush, but I get it. Keep an eye on what you want.
And remember too that especially unless you're building new, the house you're buying is not gonna be exactly. Unless you bought it from your twin or something, you know what I mean. It's gonna the color scheme's gonna be different, or the layout's gonna be, or the kitchen's a little outdated, or something.
It could be your first home.
Sure.
Okay. So don't overdo it. Now if you find the forever home and it happens to be it, God bless.
And to be honest, and then you can talk like you say, hey, like you said, we can do a home improvement loan and say, okay, so the kitchen is dated. All right, well, we'll get a loan in there. And now all of a sudden you update that kitchen, say, I don't know, $15,000 to update a kitchen. I'm just throwing a number out.
Yeah,
I know that's probably lowballing
it is what it is.
But what I'm saying is that will, you throw that in there, that will add value to the home, and then again, so it's reinvestment back. But again, but then all of a sudden now you've got the marble or the quartz or whatever your countertop of choice is. I got the double oven finally, or whatever it is you're trying to do. That way you can kind of do all that kind of stuff, and people do that all the time at all buying levels. Even if it's your first home, people do it. I'm telling you, my in-laws and they're retirees. They're not bazillionaires, but they're very well off.
And they're able to go and get the one they wanted.
But they're still buying $600,000-$700,000 homes and then remodeling the kitchen, remodeling the.
So what Mike is saying here is there's in some level there's no such a thing as the perfect home. Guys.
Exactly.
Okay. Now you want to not compromise. You want try to get as many as possible.
Sure.
But there's no such a thing. And remember, even a brand new home, when they do the home inspection, you may get a little scared.
Sure.
Because they'll give you a list. It's like, what is all this? This is new. All right, well, because it's new, this is the one true chance that you have to tell the builder, fix that.
Well, you got to break in the house. It's a new house. Things happen. Now, it's not as big an issue here as it is back east or back in this area.
Imagine in the East Coast.
Like houses settling.
Oh, my God.
Like half of where I grew up is built on swampland. So, like the mall, they built this mall. They spent 3 years filling dirt in that mall. They built the mall. 6 months later, that thing sunk a half inch.
Well, so we have that in here in Roswell a little, but it's not that crazy.
Sure.
I'm from the East Coast, so when you have all these, big, humongous homes, okay, and guys, they have big houses here. They have nothing on the houses on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. You got all those big, humongous houses that have those big pillets.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Oh, my God. And you will see the house just a little sideways.
Right.
Because, it's settled.
Sure.
Okay. But the fact is, it's not moving anymore. It's done.
Oh,
okay? But the thing is, it's sideways just slightly.
Just a little bit.
And that's just the way it is out there. It's very, and remember out there, they got basements and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We don't even have that here. I mean, not many basements.
Well, like when I never heard of a swamp cooler till I moved out here. But I say things like a sump pump, and people are like, what's a sump pump? It's like, it's literally, our house has crawl spaces.
Correct.
And because we built on, like we said, swampland, like water will get up under the house. This pump is there to pump the water out of the house.
Because you don't want that water to keep settling.
Exactly.
Because you all mess up with your foundation. Yeah. But you know what? Don't be afraid, folks. Okay. Whatever's happening in the market, whatever's happening with the war and everything, the market got a little better today, but I saw what they did. They took a lot away. So we made some good gain for the past 6 months plus, okay? And literally in 1.5 weeks, it was all took away, and it went to the negative. But they opened at a better number today, but they opened at the market, they open actually at a higher level. So what does that mean? It's almost like trying to make us feel good, but they didn't give us enough back.
Gotcha.
So, but it looks like it's going to go back to the positive. So hopefully to the train today, or maybe we get some gain for what we lost.
Sure.
Because I do have about 3 or 4 deals that I need to lock. But the thing is this, don't let that stuff scare you. Your lender should be able to advise you properly, to do those things, And the fact of the matter is, that everything is still going on. I mean, it's so crazy. I literally work all weekend, okay? Not so much. Saturdays is like the day for my wife.
Sure.
And I still have to apologize there in front of the whole entire town. Okay, I'm apologizing because I worked yesterday and she wasn't very happy.
She cut into this Saturday.
She's like not too happy with Elliot yesterday.
She gets 1 day a week, and I get it.
But no, I mean, we're taking care of a lot of people, and a lot of stuff is happening.
Sure.
And the market's still going to go the right direction. The president was trying to, open up the reserves just to control what's happening with the war. There's a lot of, data and things that are going back and forth stating that that's not going to happen or that's going to still, matter or not. Okay, but we'll have to see.
Sure.
The fact of the matter is we're in the middle of that nonsense that's happening, and after that comes out and it's finished, we're not going to see, like a big positive. I think they're going to control it.
Gotcha.
Okay? And I believe the Fed's supposed to meet on the 27th of this month, I believe.
Okay.
So, that doesn't trigger to us as mortgage, like to drop in a big way, but it will control how it's going. And hopefully we can see, some positive, movement. But yeah, it started better today, but it's almost like it's like on shift on like wolf clothing,
right? Right.
Because it didn't start really good,
right?
Because I double checked, some of my deals and what it was costing before, and when it went like to the negative and it got positive, and the positive didn't went too high, so it's like like didn't go where it's supposed to. But no, folks, if you're in the market, to look for homes, okay. Or you've been getting kicked out of the house, or you're ready to move out, or wherever you're staying, or you're renting.
Sure.
Do not be afraid of buying a home. Whatever's happening in the market, Mike and I talked about this for years.
Absolutely.
It's whatever you can afford. Don't worry about what the market is doing, okay?
You need a house, you need a house.
Yeah, you need a house, you need a house. When the market gets better, you're at a better position, okay?
You can refinance
Exactly.
or find the house that was more suitable to your needs.
And remember, I got the programs. I got the, New Mexico housing, okay?
Yeah. A lot of first-time buyer programs.
I got
out
programs to help people repeating business that maybe you're a little short on money. It's okay. We still have the money to help you. Okay, we got Access Zero. This is our own product that we have at Loan Depot, and that will give you money to be able to do for the down payment. So do not be afraid of that stuff. Okay.
Even home improvement loans. Maybe you're like, hey, I want to sell the house.
We were talking about that.
I need to upgrade the kitchen first before I do to really get my value out of it.
If you see a house that you really want, let's say you're down the street, my mom lives down the street, that house down the corner where my old girlfriend used to live or whatever, they move, it needs a little work. Hey, I can help you fix it, guys, okay? We can give you the money to fix your home. That is called, for those people that have never heard it, 203K renovation purchase. You could also do a 203K renovation refi, okay? For investment purposes,
okay,
or for your own home.
Okay, so if you want to do your personal, or if you got rental properties.
Yeah, if you have rental problem, as long as it's a single family home,
gotcha.
We can give you money to fix it.
Okay, what about like a townhouse or
townhomes and all that stuff is still fine. Okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
When it comes really cool, let me give you a pebble of hope for those people out there that would like to do some real investment, but they don't know when to start and how to do it. Look. If you can find yourself a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, as long as you're going to live in it, folks, you could buy one and it'll pay itself and you don't even have to pay for it, okay? Because the unit next to you is paying your house. That is the way to start, okay? If you want to go out there and if you have ideas that you want to be able to invest and, you got some dreams and don't be afraid of it.
Sure.
Come and talk to me, and I'll tell you what to do.
And to be honest, that way you since you live on property too, you keep an eye on the property.
Exactly.
Therefore, repairs. Yes, you might get a knock at 2 a.m. because the washer's going out or something. But you're there and you can see the property.
But if you put the rules in place correctly, you don't have to worry about that.
If you pick the right tenants and do the right things,
but folks, as crazy as that is, okay, that could go conventional FHA. Okay, if you're a first-time home buyer, you could do a down payment of 3%. Okay, and you could actually buy a home. If you go FHA, it's 3.5% down, folks. So it's not difficult. Okay, so if you have the right, idea to try to go and try this thing, don't be afraid of it. You just need the information.
Well, I mean,
and I can even give you the money. Let me tell you something. If you qualify, this is even crazier. Okay, you could buy a duplex, triplex, even a fourplex. I can give you the money for the down payment. As crazy as that sounds, folks. Okay. Now, depending on how many units, that changes the down payment. So I cannot give you everything.
Right.
But I can give you a lot of it. Okay. So don't be afraid. But the fact of the matter is, start with a unit that, like maybe a duplex.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think hindsight's 20/20 for me, my own self. Like, I think when I got out of the Air Force, that would have been my time where I would said, you know what, use my VA loan first time and do that. And maybe with my wife, and we live in one of those.
Imagine if you and I would have known all that stuff.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if I would have done that now, I'd probably, be pretty well off here and just doing this to just.
I remember my wife and I buying a duplex here.
Yeah.
Okay, that was probably probably the third unit that I bought here.
Yeah.
We stayed in one side.
Yeah.
For a while.
That would have been what I've done.
It's the craziest thing.
I would have bought, like I said, a fourplex or whatever, and I would have lived in one with my wife, and we would have, rented out the other three, and that would have been probably my main income until I was figuring out what I wanted to do next, kind of.
And there's a lot of stuff happening, folks. Don't be afraid of asking. Okay. But the very first thing you should do is really get pre-approved.
Sure.
Okay. So.
Well, that's the first thing you need to do.
Because you need to know what you can afford.
Yeah, if without that question answered, you're either under or overselling yourself.
And I got folks in my office. My guys are so ready to go and kick some butt.
Sure.
Okay. I just hire, my old assistant that I had before.
Okay.
And she's good. Okay. So she's a loan officer now. All right. That's like powerhouse right there, folks.
A lot of experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she knows me. She knows what we need.
Sure.
She knows the process. Okay. That's how my guy Luis is pretty good, because he used to be an assistant as well before.
Okay.
So he allows people to do that stuff right.
Sure.
I just hire my guy Phil. You're gonna kill me that I call him Phil. So I call him. I call him Dr. Phil. How you doing today? No, so I just hired Phil, and he's joining my team. So we just hired 2 new people this past month right now.
Awesome.
Okay, so we just continue growing, and we're gonna go and and help people out there.
Sure.
And Phil is ready, folks. I had in many years I've been doing this. I haven't seen somebody that's so excited to do this, and I love it. I think it's awesome.
And like you said, you're bringing a mix of experience. You get the youth and experience there. And so with that experience, too, it kind of serves as a two-headed monster for you, whereas, you turn over rocks, but maybe, some of your other folks are like, well, yeah, what about these rocks? And, between all of you there's all the rocks are covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he texted me last night, hey, Elliot, I got a prospect. I went to an open house, and I'm trying to help this guy buy a house. Like, okay, let's find a way to get it done.
Sure.
I love it because he went to an open house. And we do this all the time. Okay, folks, you want the real people to take care of you. Let me tell you something. All right, it's not just Loan Depot, but Loan Depot is the reason that I went to Loan Depot is for the things that I can do for you folks out there.
Right.
Okay, so a mix of goodwill with the power of a company that gives you everything you need to be able to do what you need to do. Nobody can stop what we can do for them.
Absolutely. That is...
And I got now somebody that is willing to go and do what I do.
Absolutely.
As well. I think Phil is going to be powerful. I think he's going to go and kick some butt. Okay? And I love it because... like you and I were talking about, I'm getting old. It's time.
Sure, absolutely. You're at some point you're going to be saying, I'd like to spend less days in the office.
Exactly.
I don't want to be there 6 days a week. I maybe only want to be there 5 days a week, or dare I say 4 days a week.
No, but you know what, folks? You want to go to a place that take care of you.
Yeah.
That doesn't look at you like you're a number only. Okay.
Absolutely.
And the reason I say only because we still do need to look at numbers.
Well, it's the best of both worlds.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to make a joke inside of reality.
Sure.
But no, go to a place that actually care about taking care of you, that we're going to uncover every stone, okay? We quick. We probably quicker than anybody in town right now, okay? And there's nobody that can stop us do what we need to do, because if I tell you pre-approve, folks. Okay, let me tell you something. One of the things that I have worked very hard all this year is to make sure that what I do, I deliver. Okay, so nobody in this town has more, factual, strong reality that we deliver every deal we close.
Sure.
Than Loan Depot. Okay, and I can say that without no hesitation whatsoever, because this is what we do.
Absolutely,
okay?
And this is something that again I think also separates you from other institutions is if you don't get pre-approved, he'll say, okay, here's the roadmap to get pre-approved.
Exactly.
You fix this, fixing this, come back in 3 months and see me. You're going to get pre-approved.
You know how many people, I got tons and tons of people that I'm telling them, do this, do that. Okay. Folks, if you, and I say this to every single one of my customers, okay. If you do everything that I tell you to do, as long as I'm not telling you to do something stupid or break the law, okay, I will guarantee you, give you my word, that I will help you, deliver a home to you, okay? Now, a lot of people's like, how can you say that? In this business, you can guarantee nothing. That's true. I'm saying I will do everything in my powers to make sure that you get what you want.
Absolutely.
Which is a big difference, folks.
Well,
okay?
and at the end of the day, you hear the sayings, you lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. He's giving you the roadmap. He's giving you the step-by-step instructions on how to do it. What you have to do is do that. When he says, cut this ridiculous spending out of your budget, you got to do that. Or let's consolidate this or pay this debt off first. And then once that's paid off, then your numbers go up and everything starts jiving. Whatever that might be, you do that. And next thing you know, you're sitting in his office signing closing paperwork. And that's,
I know. Let me tell you something. The most exciting things that I ever seen is people signing papers. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Okay. And I just want to say to all of my past clients and partners, thank you for allowing me to be part of that, event in your life. Because it's the coolest thing ever. Okay. And I was talking with somebody not too long ago, and I was like, well, if somebody's going to help them this and that, why not me? Why not my team?
Right.
Because I'm teaching my team to care, to do the right thing for people, and to take care of it. That we uncover every stunt to try to take care of every single customer.
Yeah.
No, I almost wanted to sound like Obama. Nobody left behind, folks. But the point is, we want to make sure that people understand that there's a real team in town.
Sure.
Okay. So Team Roswell for Loan Depot, folks, we will take care of you. Okay. We will make sure that you get a home.
Sure.
All right. We don't care how big or small the loan is. We're gonna take care of it just like you're $1 million customer.
Whether you're a whale or a first-time fish or new fish in the pond. Yeah,
and that's very important, folks. I haven't never really talked too much about that before. Maybe once in a while I mention it, but it's time to start letting people know you need to go where people really actually take care of you and care about you.
Absolutely,
seriously, because Mike, let's be honest. There's some competitors, some care. Okay, I'm not gonna say who doesn't and who does, but a lot of them seem to be that they're not really in the same picture of what I deliver here.
Well, if let's put it this way: if they can do this, if they have to do the same amount of legwork, but one client's basically a $1 million account and the other client's a $1,000 account, they're going to put more time and energy in there. Where you're saying, look, I don't care if it's $1,000 account, $1 million account, or a $100,000 account. You get the same professional treatment, the same advantages that any other would. Just because
same dignity.
Yeah, just because you're buying a Cadillac versus an Escort, whatever that is, it doesn't matter. We're going to make sure that you get the best buying experience with that product.
And folks, we don't have any other agenda but to help you.
Sure.
Deliver a home to you.
And the idea is to say, okay, you're buying an Escort now, but now we're going to get you in a Lincoln, and then we're going to get you in a Ferrari or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And imagine you get to keep the Escort still.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're renting out the Escort to someone else.
You know how many times I love to tell customers this is like, that might not be your forever home, but you know what? In certain way, depending on how you're going to use it, it may still be.
Sure.
It could be a long time investment property for yourself.
Absolutely.
Folks, the best thing you can ever do, let's just say you buy a house and the payments are, I don't know, $8,000 to $1,000. And that home could be rented for $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, maybe even more. Okay. And a little time passes, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you have a little money saved up that you're okay to go to buy your next home and increase and, upgrade, if you may. So when you upgrade, okay, and you don't want to get rid of the property you have, now you could rent that one for $1,500.
Absolutely.
Or something, and now you're getting $500 for that for the new home that you're getting.
Absolutely.
Folks, I done it, okay? I done it. I mean, this is not something that I preach that I never did.
Not to mention once you pay that all off, and then if you decide to sell at some point, all equity, all
and I help a bunch of customers
profit.
do that all the time. You know, it's a crazy.
Then you got to start worrying about capital gains taxes and stuff. And you're like, what? And you get an accountant.
Folks, let me tell you something. If you're too worried about taxes, you're thinking the wrong way. The fact of the matter is, when you're paying more taxes means what? You're making more what?
Sure.
You're making more money.
I'll say these are good problems to have.
That's a good problem. Okay.
But once you start, selling houses or clear profit, then you're like, oh, I got to pay capital gains tax now.
The fun thing that I see when somebody has like 10, 15 houses and this and that, and they report this and they report that, and they want to do more, it's like, you have to either be part of the system or not. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you're doing the right thing and you're actually paying more taxes, it means you're making more money too. So that's that is a good spot to be at.
Absolutely,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the cost of doing business.
And folks, I got my guys. I got Kelly. I got Luis. I got Phil. I got Carrie that just joined me as well. Okay, and I got some folks in Albuquerque. As well.
Sure. What is because I know. You guys pretty much cover most of southeast New Mexico out of this office, right?
So I cover the whole state.
Gotcha.
In a sense, but I'm concentrating in this area because this is where I live.
Gotcha.
This is my background.
Well, I didn't know, is Albuquerque the closest Lone Depot office outside of Roswell?
That is the closest Lone Depot office outside us.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
We take care of everything. My guys, they got their license in different states.
Gotcha.
So if you have a brother and a sister that is buying a house somewhere else, just let us know. We'll
I just didn't know if there was if you wanted to walk into an office and talk to somebody like Roswell, Albuquerque.
Yeah, Roswell and Albuquerque is the only two places.
Only two. Okay, that's what I was curious
and my
about.
Assistant is actually in Albuquerque.
There you go.
I'm about to try to get me a new assistant over here. So it's time to step it up to the next level.
Anyway, hey, apply within. But we're almost out of time here. But if you are interested, please call his office, set up a time, come down and let's talk and let's see what we can do for you. You can call him direct on his cell, 719-237-4680. Please leave a voicemail if you don't get Elliot live. He
please.
Might be in a meeting or dealing with a client. You can call the office direct as well. As long as it's during business hours, you'll probably get a live person there. 505-445-2070. I know that's a 505 number, but it is for the Roswell office here. 505-445-2070. You can also stop by the office, 204 West 2nd, Suite 5, right here, not stone's throw from the police station, all that.
Across the street from the police station parking lot.
Yeah, right there. And then, of course, you can go online and check Elliot out as well. He's got his own website through Lone Depot. If you go to lonedepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, Elliot spelled with one L, Rodriguez with a Z at the end. And so lonedepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez. There you can go directly to his direct website page through Lone Depot. You can also shoot him emails as well. It's Elliot Rodriguez, same spelling, Elliot with one L, Z at the end on the Rodriguez, at lonedepot.com.
Correct.
And you'll get there. But if you don't remember all that, call him direct, 719-237-4680, or the office here, 505-445